Reverb Experiment episode number 42.
Sheesh.
Getting up there, man. 50's quite around the corner.
Hey, man, we there.
So it is Valentine's Day coming up.
Valentines. Y'all heard how you said that?
I got to pronounce it. Valentines Day.
Damn, you caught me like that? I wasn't even... Damn, you observed.
It's Black History Month.
Yes.
Know what I'm saying? Niggas been acting up.
Man, it seemed like I don't know if they're acting up or if it's just more pronounced because it's Black History Month. So we like, bruh, really? This month?
You niggas is wilding out here. Niggas is wilding.
They said every month can get it.
Niggas is acting extra niggerish in February.
It's a different type of history we making this month.
God damn it, man. We got the Valentine's Day verses coming up with Anthony Hamilton and Music Soul Child. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be bomb.
And we got a special episode for y'all today where we're going to be talking about intimacy, sex,
yes,
and all that's in between.
Oh hell no!
First of all, we got to introduce who's on the mic because I forgot to do it last time, man. We're a little rusty. But we got G_Focus that's on the mic that's speaking right now. To my left, we have the beautiful Steph.net.
What's good?
We have Photo B up in the building.
Good morning.
Raj is at home. He got a lot of stuff to do. He's out there making that money. So we give a shout out to Raji. Yo.
There we go. Hardworking man.
Hardworking man. We got a special guest that we will introduce a little bit later. First, I want to go through again what we're talking about today. So we said we're going to talk about intimacy. We're going to talk about relationships a little bit later. Then we're going to talk about DaBaby versus Brandon Bills. Brandon Bills, excuse me.
I was like, who?
Brandon Bills.
Sheesh.
Then we're also going to talk about unofficial versus Nelly versus Lil Fizz.
Oh Lord.
The unofficial verses.
The unofficial pre-Valentine's Day verses that nobody asked for.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
We did not.
Nobody asked for that. But, you know, just like we always... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Disturbing.
Very.
Beyond disturbing. Before we do any of that, we want to definitely thank all of our guests that have been on the show. We want to thank all of our listeners, all of our supporters via YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. For those that are asking how they can best support us, the best way they can support us is by liking, subscribing, following, commenting, because it helps the algorithm put our content up to the top, and it helps other people find us that would not normally find us. If you would like to know more about us, we are on www.reverbexp.com. It's our brand new website. That is pretty dope. You can sign up for a mailing list, and you can also leave a review. If you leave a review, we will read your review on the air as long as it's a 5-star. If you leave anything less than that, not reading it.
Have we had any reviews?
And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I ain't reading it.
Have we had any reviews recently?
No.
Okay. No. Do some reviews.
Yes, do some reviews. And subscribe, follow, like, especially like us and subscribe on YouTube, please, because we trying to make some money out here.
Pretty please with sugar on top. Show us some love. Show us some love. Show us some love. Like I love us.
Please. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into the main show because, you know, we don't like beating around the bush. And it's Valentine's Day. We already know y'all want to talk about sex.
Did he say it right this time?
You already know.
Did he say it right this time?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Valentine's.
Look, if I say it wrong, look,
sure.
I reserve the right to say Valentine's Day. It's Black History Month.
Valentine. Valentine.
I know.
Okay. Everything goes.
No, I just wanted to double check. Valentine.
Valentines.
With an N.
With the N.
You got it.
But hold on, before we get into it, so what y'all plan for Valentine's Day?
Nothing.
Oh, you must have a fun Valentine's Day plan.
No.
Nah.
Nothing. No.
No shoots?
I already did all the shoots.
For Valentine's? No dinner, no nothing?
I don't know. We'll see what somebody wants to do for me.
Ooh.
You looking for the vibe.
We haven't talked about it. I
think when you're married, I think it's different.
Yeah, we're going to come up with something. We're going to wait till it's like, oh, what we're going to do tomorrow.
So you see all the flowers and pictures on social media, then you like, so what we
Well,
do?
I think honestly too, because we got so much other stuff going on that you know, like trips that's coming up and stuff like that. That it's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
so
that makes sense. That
I'd
makes
rather
sense.
do that.
That makes sense.
So it's Valentine's Day as every day for married
Right.
people, right?
Should be,
It should be.
but you know how some people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it just depends. Like, so there's years where we be like, oh, let's do something. We'll go out to like, you know, expensive dinner or go on a little vacation trip. And then some years it just be chill.
Yeah.
Just kind of depends on what kind of mood we in.
Yeah.
It varies.
I think that's fair.
Y'all still love each other.
Yeah.
Y'all know that.
You know.
And you gotta show it year round. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I think for the people that don't, that's when they be stressing.
You feel me? The people
I don't knock though. Like, you know, there's some women that it's like really important. Like, he better do something like, and I mean, if that's what you like, that's, hey, you know how I am. I always say, voice your needs. Don't be sitting back hoping somebody gonna do something that you know.
Yeah,
I feel like
that.
in the beginning, you do have to establish that. That's why there's like a high standard on Valentine's Day. But once you develop that relationship, you're married or you have kids, then it's when it becomes casual or, you know, every other year or.
Yeah. I just like for us, I just realized all we doing is just exchanging money.
You
That's what we're
because
doing.
you get some for me, I get some for you.
And it's a joint account.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
exactly.
so I'm like,
It's the thought at that point.
I know it's the thought, but
It's
what
that
I'm
thought,
saying
that's
is,
You're like, let's just save
You
our
don't,
money.
you don't like,
Yeah.
you don't like you bought your
no.
gift.
So what we just go out and we just go to a nice restaurant to experience the experience,
Or try some, you know, try a new
or try
restaurant.
a new
something like
restaurant, do something fancy, do something that we wouldn't normally do. That's just what we do.
Stepping out the box.
I know they say like, oh, it's every day, but I think Valentine's Day can be an opportunity to just do something different, do something
Exactly.
extra. The way we used to do it before the pandemic started was we would switch off. Like this year I'm planning it, the next year you planning
good
it, we
idea.
would switch
Cool.
off.
That's
Balance.
dope.
That's dope. Yeah.
That's dope. So whose turn is it this year?
Honestly, we done lost count now because last
It's
year
her
was
turn.
like, you know, shut up.
It's her turn.
Last year was like the whole, you know, pandemic and
Oh, yeah,
you know, outside was closed. I'm like, I don't
Whose turn
even
was it
know.
before that?
I don't remember.
She don't remember.
You got to step back. You got to figure out who did what and what year.
She don't
and then
remember.
Start from there.
She don't remember. She don't remember.
She remember. Women don't
She
forget.
don't remember.
He get on my nerves.
Y'all always say women don't forget.
She don't
You
remember.
forget who did what on Valentine's Day. It's her
Get on my
turn.
nerves.
It's her turn. It's her turn.
All right.
So,
And I know we're kind of off bases, and I touched on it, but I just want to get it because I do want to make sure, because this is one of the times that the episode will air before the verses. Who do we? I know you talking about you want to just enjoy it. I think most people do, but
Wait, no, first you gotta introduce the guest.
I know we will. I'm gonna introduce when we get into the interview. We will.
Oh, okay.
We will. Just before we do that, who do you think is going to win the verses?
Can you say who's performing
Is
this music,
Anthony
Soul Child?
Anthony Hamilton
Anthony
or
Hamilton.
Music Soul Child? Music Soul Child.
Music Soul Child.
Okay.
Did he have to give us the beginning of the song "Breathe"? That's that R&B break.
We're gonna skip you. We're gonna go to our guest.
And Music Soul Child does have more hits, but Anthony Hamilton's songs hit extra hard, so it's tough.
So you sound like you're going Anthony. Go ahead and say it.
I kind of
Yes,
Okay, I'm
Anthony
gonna go with him.
Hamilton.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
with him.
We already know who you going.
You already know I'm going for. And look, I love both,
Yeah.
but Anthony hits different.
Yes, it does.
I'm telling you, when he played Her Heart, oh my lord.
hey, Steph, how's it feel to be a minority?
I don't mind.
So you
know,
going
I'm
with
a-
photo?
Yeah, I'm going with photo. Yeah,
Obviously
number
going
one.
Photo.
I am number one.
You're going with Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went all
But let me just. I love both.
I
I
have seen
purchased-
Music Soul Child, and he had the thing jumping.
Yeah.
Man.
No, he's dope.
You know,
he's
he's
dope.
good
crazy.
too.
And I do think that people do sleep on his catalog, and I think that's
Man.
why I
He's
like
good.
Verses, because it reminds you of what they have done. So, and I think we talked about this on air before, but just for those that are listening, Love was actually originally supposed to be a gospel song,
Yep, sure was.
and he changed it because he wanted to appeal to the masses. So,
Oh, I did not know
when
that.
you listen to it, just exchange the word love with Lord, and it'll make sense.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot of Scorpios and Sagittarius is coming out next year.
I'm done.
Hey, did you already do the math on that?
I
No,
just did it in
yeah.
my head.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
No, they always say that. They say that around Valentine's Day. They be like, y'all, wrap it up. We don't need no more Scorpios.
Oh my, no, we don't.
That is true.
No disrespect to the Scorpios, but y'all be tripping. All right, we are going to go ahead and introduce our special guest that is on the show. She definitely, I want to appreciate you because it was kind of last minute.
Shout out
And,
to
you know, we just like being transparent here. It was last minute. So we appreciate people that take their time out of their Saturday to come here, chill with us. So we appreciate you. But we are going to let you introduce yourself. But first, we need to just give you a round of applause because I'm sure you got a whole bunch of credentials. So we're going to go ahead and let you put some respect on your own name. But Brittni Hernandez is here for the Reverb Experiment Podcast. Go ahead, give her a round.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. So what's the credentials? Because I know we obviously talking about love and relationships.
Experience.
So experience.
Life experience, shared experience. I have a lot of relationship with a lot of different women. I'm a very personable person. So I gained a lot of knowledge over time. I grew up like in a Christian household somewhat. So sex wasn't like a big topic for me. So that was something that I had to figure out on my own or with my own experiences, research, as well as like shared experience with my girlfriends and other women.
Got it. And from if I'm wrong, please correct me. But Photo B was saying that you're on the path to becoming or to being a therapist.
It's something that I'm looking into.
Go.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. We want to make sure that, hey, for y'all listening, she know what she's talking about.
Yeah, come on now.
Sometimes people are like, oh, what kind of degree you got? You ain't got to have a degree to know what you're talking about.
No, self-taught.
'Cause some of y'all got degrees from Chaplin, DeVry.
Hey, I keep it real all the time. I got a degree from Google University,
Thank you.
YouTube University.
and a minor in YouTube.
Thank you.
I'll Google something real
All
quick.
my certificates
Real
YouTube
quick.
signed off on.
No, for real.
Yeah. Nah. So seriously, in all seriousness, this is a very important topic just because I think just like what you were saying, growing up, depending on how you grew up, sex isn't talked about as much as what we should. And we obviously live in a very sexually oriented nation. I guess.
I would say,
Or I would say society, excuse me.
what I would add to that is sex is not talked about from a place of pleasure. That's not how you learn about sex. You learn about not doing it, how to be safe, but nobody talks about pleasure.
Nobody talks about pleasure.
Yeah, it's more talked about from a place of shame. Yeah,
True.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's go ahead and get into these topics, man.
It's a form of population control.
Yeah, yeah, it might
Yeah.
be. Yeah. So the first question we're gonna get into is, what are some of the reasons that people would seek to go to an intimacy coach or a sex therapist? What are some of the common reasons we think?
I would say lack of intimacy, maybe in your relationship, or maybe insecurities with body image, not feeling desirable, maybe, or comfortable in your own skin. Past trauma. So it could be like rape. Some women don't feel comfortable getting intimate with people after that, or some are overly sexual, I guess you could say.
I could see that.
I've seen both.
Yeah.
I've seen both, and I think as a man, obviously dating, that's not really talked about. So then when you start like peeling back some of the layers, and when somebody will say, "Oh, I was molested" or "I was raped," then it kind of like the pieces start kind of falling into place. You're
makes
like,
more sense.
okay, now I see why you are uncomfortable here, or now I see maybe why, the relationship you have with sex is that way because of some of your past traumas or things like that. So I think we got to take that into consideration when you're dealing with a man or with a woman, because men are molested as well, you know what I mean, or pushed into having sex too early to prove their masculinity where you may not have been ready for that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's interesting that we talk about mental health so much. I feel like going to a therapist has now kind of started to become normalized, but going to a sex therapist is still taboo. Because it's like when you think about it, it's like I'm going there because I'm bad at sex or because I'm not sexual. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like if you were to tell a friend I'm going to a sex therapist, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? That there's trouble in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And as a man, I ain't trying to tell nobody that. You know what I mean? Like I think they even have companies that will like discreetly send you, like the Viagra or the pills that help with your
Blue chews.
yeah.
Everybody
Or-
ain't gonna know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's like hymns or whatever, those kind of, yeah. So it's like, there's still that kind of shame, like, I don't want nobody knowing what I'm going through, but just slide it through the door. So,
Hey, all you gotta say is like, look, if I got this shit, just know it works. And if you don't need it,
right.
it works.
Right.
I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, normalize sex therapy,
Yes.
please. If you're having trouble there,
Sex
or if you're having
therapy.
issues, or if even you just need to talk about it, it's okay. Therapy needs to be normalized all around.
In general.
Yes,
I
exactly.
believe that.
All right, we gonna get to it because this is the question that Steph she put a star next to her notes.
This one.
And all women, you know, I didn't realize how big of a problem it was until Steph brought it to my attention. Are women satisfied in the bedroom? Why or why not? Slow the question. We're gonna just get into it.
I feel like the women who are most satisfied are the ones who have communication with their partner. I feel like communication is key to let a person know what you like, how you like it. Otherwise, you're kind of just letting them do whatever.
Basically, I think one thing that you said was body shame or not being comfortable in your body.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be a block. I think a lot of us women are very disconnected from our bodies because we're shamed about our bodies so much. So it's kind of like when you have a disconnect from your body, it's going to affect
How your partner sees you.
exactly. So it's like it's so much more layered. I don't know how it is for me, and I can only speak from a woman's standpoint, but I know it's very layered. That's why you see like women, like after having children, they're looking at their body differently. You know, it's like a lot. I've heard women say like, I don't even know whose body this is. Like this is.
It took me years to adjust after having my daughter, like to be comfortable with myself. But now I'm comfortable, and I have friends who are, you know, smaller, cute shape, and who might not feel as comfortable. And I'm like, girl, they love you no matter what.
Come
and
on.
they're gonna mess with you no matter what. As long as you're confident and they see that, then they're cool with it.
Yeah, I think people discount, or especially like women discount the level of how, you know, your self-image, your self-confidence, your self-esteem, how much that plays into the bedroom too. You know, it's a lot for us.
Was that an alley-oop to me to take?
No, I was just-
he's a little older than me and got quiet.
I was
But-
just, I'm just looking.
I mean, it don't help that, you know, social media kind of portrays you have to look a certain way in order to be desirable, but that's not realistic. So, I mean, that's how I look at it.
like, I think there's a difference between somebody else finding you desirable and you finding yourself desirable. That matters even more.
Like, it don't get no better than this.
Yeah.
This is it.
No, for real.
Hey, that's how I feel about myself sometimes. I look at myself in the mirror, like, hey,
You know, yes.
I get it.
we know you confident.
Hey, don't get it confused. I be having my time somewhere I don't, but
You have to remind yourself
I have
sometimes.
to remind
Everyone has
myself.
to remind themselves.
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get
Oh, of course.
down. Like I get there,
Of
and it's like
course.
I don't get it. But then I flip around, and be like, yeah, it makes sense. I see why they act the way they act.
Yeah.
No. But I think overall there's a lot of women, like you said, that are satisfied if they are communicating. But I think it needs to be more normalized to communicate in that way where men don't take it personally. And you could feel comfortable saying, hey, I don't like that, or hey, what's going on right now is not getting me to where I need to go. So I think a lot of times when that conversation comes up, it's, oh, you know, the men taking it personally, like, oh, I don't want to bring any toys in because that is competition to me or whatever. And it's like,
And it also depends on your relationship with that person. Now, if you're having a one-night stand, you might
Right.
not want to communicate that.
Right.
You're like, okay, it is what it is. But if you have a relationship with that person, you're going to open up and you're going to say what you like. Or, okay, this has been bothering me for the past year. Now we need to switch it up. Like,
Damn, past year.
well, sometimes in the beginning, like I know in my past relationships, I was shy,
That makes sense.
and then eventually I got to a point, so if I'm going to be with you forever, things need to start,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
She's like, hey,
And then I think a issue where men take the reason why men take it personally, when a woman voices that, I think it's because a lot of men don't know. Like for me, I was shocked when I was reading around and it was saying like 70% of women don't orgasm from penetration. Like reading stuff like that, I was shocked as a woman. So imagine, I'm sure men don't know this information. So when a woman is coming to you and saying, I need more than just penetration, I need other stimulation to get there, they're going to feel away because in their minds, they think that most women orgasm from penetration when most don't. I didn't even know that.
It's a lack of education.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't really know that was an actual difference.
I didn't know it was a thing.
You know, unfortunately, majority of us learn from the same thing. Porn.
Yeah.
Well, experience for me.
Well, yeah.
Well, it depends on the person, but
Right.
I would say the general public would be,
At least for men, being as though like it wasn't communicated about the difference of penetration and clitoral stimulation. That didn't really arise of until recently. Like nobody even communicated that, right? There was always like, oh, I don't finish off a dick, right? And nobody understood that. Nobody understood like, oh, okay, but you still enjoy it. You still enjoy the sex, the act of it.
Yeah.
However, I realize that now I have to make sure that I am focusing my attention, at least for a little bit, at least enough to get you there on your clip.
But
And some don't need that.
Some women don't know that either.
Yes.
And I always say, well, maybe it's because you don't teach yourself on yourself. You know, once you try things on yourself, you know your body better and you can, you know, express that to your partner.
Yeah, I mean, majority of the time, a lot of us grew up thinking masturbation was shameful. So nobody asked any questions. Nobody wanted to figure it out. They just figured it out on their own without talking to anybody because it was taboo and it was weird. Like, oh, you do that? And I was like, yeah, I do that.
Yeah. I think it just depends on your upbringing, on your background, because it can be, you know what I mean? But I think, again, just a lack of education. Like, so, and I know the question is geared for women and we're still talking about women, but just as a man, obviously I can't speak on a woman's experience, but just looking at like problems in orgasm, like I just pulled up a list and here's just a quick list of reasons why women can't orgasm. So not being stimulated sufficiently. So we talked about that already, right? Worrying about sexual performance. So that's something that I didn't know about because men have that problem too, because it's mental, where if you feel too much pressure to perform, then it could backfire. And
it is mental.
Yeah.
That's why I said
mental.
there'd be mental blocks.
Mood disorders such as depression. Did not know that. And especially in a pandemic where depression has been rampant, that could affect the bedroom. Problems with physical health such as long-term pain, like arthritis, a previous traumatic sexual experience. We talked about that in the childhood. Problems in the relationship, obviously, I would say. But, you know, men, we look at sex differently where we think like sometimes sex can fix the problem. But it's like if the problem still hasn't been fixed, then women, most time, and I don't want to talk about all women, but most women don't want to sleep with you if there's an issue in the relationship that has not been addressed.
Resolved.
I mean, some women do the same thing. Some women,
Some women
Definitely
do.
do.
Some women do.
But in a relationship, it's more emotional. So I think women shut down and sex isn't as interesting.
Yes.
You can have a sexual woman, but then she might be turned off and not want to sleep with you because of relationships and your issues.
And it's not intimate.
Yes.
It's kind of just doing it just to get it over with.
Yes.
Hormonal changes or problems such as menopause, which, you know, obviously that's a big issue. Taking some types of medication. This is the one I didn't know. Taking some types of medication such as serotonin, Reputate, basically antidepressants.
Basically. And I was about to say, I'm like, because that happened to me. And at first I didn't know. And because, I mean, you know, there's going to be side effects when you take medication, but I mean,
But is that
at that time I wasn't really reading them. So I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like,
so hold
I don't
on.
understand.
So that's a great point. When you were prescribed the antidepressants, was that brought up?
No, not directly.
Why?
I don't
To me, that's a problem.
that is a problem. That is a problem.
Like if you were to like just, and I'm just want to just paint the scenario. If you were like a newlywed, you just got married, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
was.
informed.
And again, like I said, let's say you're pandemic and you have been clinically depressed, like you've been prescribed antidepressants. That can cause, especially in those first 2 years of marriage, that can cause a very rocky environment in your marriage if you are not able to orgasm because as a man, we think it's because we're not doing our job.
Mm-hmm.
And if a woman doesn't know that, she could also think the same thing. Like, what's wrong with you?
See,
But that shows how important communication is, though.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I said, I didn't know. So, and it was like right in the beginning. And then it was like, what is going on? Like, why do I not really, like, you don't really have the urge at all. It's like, what happened? Like before it was like, I'm ready to get it popping. And now I'm not.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember one of the previous
it is
episodes.
weird.
Yeah, I remember one of the previous episodes you were talking about that, and to where you was like, what's going on? I don't know.
And that, you know, that's what they say, communicate. At the time, I didn't even know how there wasn't nothing to
How
communicate.
can you communicate if you don't know?
And I'm like, I'm communicating that this is what's going on, but I can't tell you why. And of course, you know, there's no way that somebody's not going to take that personally.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer.
Even if you would have communicated it correctly, you can still take it personal.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of like one of those things I couldn't say like, hey, you know, one of the side effects of this medication is I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, so that's on the doctor.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't know that at the time. So it was like, I don't know.
Doctor got to tell you that.
Yeah.
Now I don't play. I read all like at first I would be like kind of skeptical about reading because I'm like the way my mind works. I'm like I feel like I'm getting one of them side effects I read like it'd be mental. But I'm like I read all of them now. I want to know everything because
you got to know.
You
have to know what's going on with your own body. And one of the other things that I read was anxiety. Anxiety can have a big part on whether you're able to orgasm or not too. And again, those things are not talked about. It's not because then you feel like, again, and if you don't have the education, you either feel like something's wrong with you or again, as a man, I feel like something's wrong with me because I'm not able to please my wife. I'm not able to please my girl. And it's like, that makes you feel less than a man. And it could be as simple as anxiety. It could be simple as the antidepressant. It could be simple as stress. It can be simple as those things. And if you're not looking to figure out what's actually going on, then again, you can internalize what's going on in the bedroom as something, and then that adds more stress. And that's what we're talking about as far as being mental, as far as the performance of it, then it puts more pressure on you. And it's like you more worried about performing than being intimate in the moment and being
and
present,
I think a lot of women do that too. Like you said, like watching porn, if you watch, like I feel like women be trying to put on those porn star performances, but I feel like
we gonna get to that.
Like you performing, like be actually in it, like
be present, right?
Be actually in it, actually feeling it, not trying to make it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying, and we gonna talk
Doing
about
too
it.
much.
We gonna talk about it.
You know what I mean? Like you hooping and hollering and trying to do all this, like girl.
Yeah.
Actually be. Are you actually feeling it? Or are you just trying to perform? Are you just trying to stroke his ego?
Yeah, there's limits.
Damn. I don't know. I don't want. Maybe this wasn't a good Valentine's Day episode.
Hey, it needs to be talked about.
It needs to be talked about.
All types of truth.
It needs to be
It needs to be talked about.
So if you are in one of those, do not feel shamed about it. You need to get to the root of the problem and communicate.
Yes.
Come and talk to me.
Seriously. I guess we already answered. Okay, so this kind of segues into the next thing. So we talked about communication. What are some keys to having amazing sex?
Communication.
I was just gonna say
That was not, that's, I think that's at the top of the
one.
list.
foreplay. A lot of men don't do it. Do it more.
Look for the people.
Man.
What?
No, just your face is scrunched up.
My bad.
So look, for
I was
just
thinking about it.
we're gonna just assume that we don't know what foreplay is. What can we break that down?
You know, we have sensitive areas in our body. Kiss it, touch it, lick it,
Androgenous
rub
areas.
it. You know, like all that good stuff. Or it could even be as simple as like lighting candles, massages, and stuff like that. Just setting the mood. You know, warm the car up before you
before you drive. I got you.
know?
You don't just hop
Don't
in
be
it and shit.
don't be sending your girl to them niggas that be having them little massage tables on their room,
On Instagram.
Oh, that's me.
rubbing in the thigh.
That's me.
Yeah.
No.
That's you doing the massage. Or you sending them.
I got the massage.
Oh, you got them. Okay,
I
I'm
got
about to
the massage
say.
table at the crib.
I think men are just very, well, I can't speak for all men, but it seems to me that they're very impatient.
Okay, for anybody
take
listening to the podcast, when we say men or women, we're speaking generally.
Generally, yes.
please, because some of y'all be like, "Oh, not all men do that."
Well,
no,
obviously, we
come
don't know
on,
men.
come on, like y'all need to stop
Most.
that. It's generally. So you're saying that you think that most generally men are impatient when it comes.
Impatient, yeah. They
I would
want to
agree
get
with
to
that.
it. They
I
wanna
would
get
agree
to
with
it.
that.
I wouldn't say impatient. I just think that men don't need foreplay as much as women do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think women, for me,
Yeah.
personally, I think we need foreplay.
I would agree with that.
We do.
I would agree with that.
Foreplay, but I feel like men don't really need it as much.
So you were saying massages. So what are some other examples of foreplay? I know you're saying kissing, sensitive areas, things like that. Obviously, you need to know what areas those are on your woman because every woman is different. But what are some
eye contact? I feel like people
yeah.
don't do that. Like actually, just if you sit and
Mm-hmm.
do like eye contact,
That shit is
Conversation,
It's
dirty
lit.
talk.
so like at dinner, like intimate eye contact?
like you know it's about to go down.
in a
after
bed,
this.
like
No, I'm just saying as an example. Like if you were out at dinner, then being present.
You know,
no, I mean
we
like
know the
actually
look.
sitting there and having that intimacy. It's called like intimacy gazing.
Oh, I got what you're
gazing,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
AKA
Okay.
the fuck me eyes.
Okay. I got you.
At
mean, you
first,
could
I was
do
like,
it at
so we're just
dinner,
about to
and
just
you know
sit
what's
here and
gonna
stare at
happen
each
after
other.
dinner.
No, I've seen that.
It sounds weird, but when you do it,
Cause I've seen that, and I've also seen like, and I'm not too sure what the name of it is, but it's like sexual yoga.
yeah,
I forgot what the name of it is though.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, maybe some of y'all don't. Okay, so all right, so those are some good ideas. Is there any other good foreplay ideas that we can think of? Maybe like a bath, like run a bath or whatever. I don't. Like you said,
Anything.
candles lit, the music,
vibe,
yeah,
yeah.
can set the vibe.
It
Okay.
really depends
On the person.
person.
I know.
person.
And
But
what
I'm
they
trying to
like.
help the men out there
Right,
that haven't done the foreplay to give them some ideas.
Focus on their love language.
It's always touching too. Like so, it doesn't have to be like shoot foot massage, anything, shoulder massage.
They have games for that too.
Everything.
Roll the dice, lick
Okay.
my
Exactly.
shoulder.
That's a good idea.
You know, touch my. You know,
I would also add to that how you treat your woman
Yep.
is it's not exactly foreplay, but it's a kind of foreplay.
Foreplay.
yeah.
You can't be yelling at your woman all day,
And then,
and then
expect
at
to get
nighttime
some
be like,
great
yo.
booty.
Well, yeah, men can compartmentalize. They're like, okay, yeah, well, that was that. This is now.
Oh, we for
Like,
sure do. We for sure do.
We definitely
I ain't gonna be
we're
mad.
emotional creatures. We sometimes hold on to that stuff.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Or feed your girl, whatever.
You feel me?
Yeah, there's
Clean the room.
Google it.
I feel like too, like, cause my husband will do that sometimes. Where
room's
like
good one.
he'll be chilling
Mm-hmm.
on the game or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm about to go lay it on down. He'll chill on the game. He's like, all right, I'm done with the game. Let's go, bruh. What?
Yeah, dog, you tripping?
Like, what? Like you just came back inside and now you like,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes spontaneous sex is good, but I think you should definitely,
Yeah,
that foreplay in
yeah.
place.
It's a blast. It's a blast. I'm gonna give you guys a key hint of something that I've witnessed in my life. Ticklish spots are actually what they call it?
erogenous zones.
Erogenous zones when they're turned on. If you're ticklish there, learn how to approach that area when they're turned on because it turns. You gotta be really gentle. That's why.
Say not excessively.
Not
Okay,
excessively.
hold on,
Not excessively.
coming with the facts.
No, it's real because people are ticklish on their neck, but start kissing on their neck.
You know what?
Start touching the back
That
of their
makes
neck.
sense. I used to always wonder why people got tied up and got their feet tickled. I'm like, that don't seem like that don't seem
Different.
sexy to
That
me.
is different. That is different. That's a whole different level. Some BDSM on some. What is it?
Well, you said that the ticklish spots turn to.
Well, yeah, the feet is. That's the.
But
excessive
it's
part that we're
knowing that
talking
person's spot because some people have
Different,
different
yeah,
spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some with inner thighs or back or
Yeah, no, I got
whatever.
you.
The back of the knee.
Right,
The
right.
love handles
No,
and all that.
surprisingly, the armpit.
All right, we gonna be.
But not the feet. I don't.
Not the
Not
feet.
the feet.
She's like, I don't do feet.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
do feet
bust
either.
out the handcuffs.
Please don't touch my feet. Okay.
It's the ones that are least touched. The areas that are least touched, most likely.
I
Okay.
say just take your time too. I think a lot of times, like,
So we're on number 3. So we said communication. We said foreplay. So now you're saying take your time.
yeah, take your
Okay.
time. Don't be like, okay, let's get this foreplay out the way. Like, just take your time. And well, I mean, some people got kids, so maybe I'm time limit. But
Kids asleep. We got all the time we want.
I feel like, yeah, take your time. I know I notice with black men, especially, because obviously that's all I've ever dated. Black men, I feel like a lot of us see porn, and I feel like a lot of porn is always like, you don't see like slow, sensual porn.
You gotta
It's
like,
always like,
Rough.
I'm about to beat it out the frame.
well, you gotta search for that. You gotta search specifically for that.
That's making love.
But you know what I mean.
We're smashing.
Exactly. So I'm like, there's no real, you
Yeah.
know,
No, I-
slow
yeah.
yeah. So I
Yep.
feel like it's always like, I'm finna manhandle, and people like that.
Some
I'm
people
not.
do.
Some women like
There's
that.
a healthy
Communicate.
balance too.
Right.
Well, and you may want it differently different times.
Right. So that's why I always say, I'm like,
Varieties. a spicy
Back to
life.
communication.
yeah.
It's back to communication.
And just having a good repertoire. Like, you want to have, like,
Have a change up.
man, like,
Be like a
you
pitcher.
only got one stroke.
Picture?
Yeah.
one of
You
them,
have a
bro.
slider. You got a
Got a
curve.
slider.
You gotta switch
You
it
know-
up.
You got a fastball.
You feel me?
Right.
You the fat.
Exactly.
You never
You have
know.
a, yeah.
And pay attention
Because when you're talking to
on
men,
what the different things that you do, what
sports.
like, oh, okay. She liked it that. She kind of, and that's why I told her, don't put on no performance. Like,
Just focus.
you know what I mean? Like, so he could know, like, if you're constantly hollering the whole time and he did something you didn't like, but you was still hollering, like, how he supposed to know? Like,
Exactly.
What you? Yep.
That's true.
That's true.
you know what I mean?
We need to know,
Where it's hitting and where it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
and
she
that's
got quiet.
back
She
to
ain't liking
communication.
this.
Actually, you know what? And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe I read that women that are actually vocal or making noises are loud, it actually helps with the orgasm as well. Because for one, obviously you're giving the man a direction
stroking
on
is-
where to go,
That's an
but it also helps because you're, Okay.
Audio stimulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Stop faking like it's feeling good if it ain't. If she get quiet, it ain't hitting.
Okay.
Do something else.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Switch it
hey, you
up.
quiet.
Let me try some.
What?
I'll tell you, if a
Well,
girl,
yeah.
if a girl get quiet, what you gonna do?
well, I'm
Quiet.
switching it up.
Exactly.
That means what I'm doing ain't hitting.
Exactly. That's how I be saying. I'm like, y'all be so busy performing that you not helping the situation.
We need direction.
Yeah.
Men want. Let me just clear
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
We
Acknowledging what you like.
want direction, and if you didn't have a conversation before, the default is you're moaning, your sounds. That is how we know whether we're
Doing good.
hot or cold. And if you start being quiet, then we thinking we cold and we doing it. But because I've heard women say, and I know you're in that sensuality group, but I've heard women be like, "Why did you stop what you were doing?" And it's like, well, maybe we stopped because you stopped making noises. Because I guess women will say, one of the general things I've heard women say is, when I say I'm about to orgasm, then men start going faster.
Yep.
And it's like, I didn't need you to go faster. I need you to just
Keep
keep
that
doing
same-
whatever you were
Keep
doing.
that pace.
So, but we think that's because for us, when it's coming, it's like
That's what y'all do.
Yeah.
that's what
Speed
we
it
do.
up.
Yeah. So
That's what makes it better for y'all.
for us.
Yeah.
But if you need to be into pleasing your woman, just keep the same speed, brother.
Do
Or if
not
I'm
switch.
staying right there,
That's
go
right
right
there.
there. Keep going.
X marks the spot.
Period.
Hit you with that got you. Got you. Oh, say less.
You think I'm here to play around with y'all? Got it on your
I'm not. Saying.
All right, so I think those are some good tips.
Came here to act up.
Emphasis on the communication.
Definitely.
All right, what's next on the docket? Okay, this was a good one. So millennials are the first generation to grow up with the internet. How has pornography and social media affected our sex lives?
So I feel like there's
That's another loaded
pros
question.
and cons to that.
Pros and cons to both, or one
Yeah,
or the
so
other?
it can be a good thing and it can be like a
bad
bad
thing?
thing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the cons is because it gives unrealistic expectations. Not everybody looks like that. You know, not everybody is gonna do. They're paid professionals.
Come on.
I'm not.
Facts.
I'm not paid to be here.
But it also educates people on certain things to do, or you know.
Right.
Yeah, there's some things I probably would never even know about if it wasn't for porn.
Yeah.
And not in the happiest of ways either.
I mean, some good, some bad.
Yeah.
Mostly bad. But
And sometimes it makes it too like it dies out or it kills the intimacy in things because everything is so accessible on the internet.
yes.
If I want that girl, all I gotta do is DM her and say, instead of working for it, building that connection with someone, and it's just
That's true.
it does kill it sometimes.
And it kind of makes it, I won't say like impersonal, but
Yeah,
in
it
a way.
kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Ed just pulling up my little list here.
I think when it comes to that, that's a case by case thing, because it's not like it's always somebody gonna find somebody that's just to smash. Like sometimes they'll do it, and that's the purpose of it. But when you do that and you with somebody that you're in a relationship with, then the dynamic is different and the approach is a little bit different, because you're not just in there just to smash, but it's like, all right, you my person, I'm gonna do something with this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna focus. I'm actually really paying attention to what it is that you want.
Or if they're not pleased in the relationship that they're in, they can go, well, I can go to the internet and find someone else to kind of satisfy that need.
Yeah.
I think it kind of sucks.
It does.
But there are, some who might not be getting any as easily. All you gotta do is turn to the internet or go on a video chat or,
Yeah.
cyber
Handle
sex.
it.
Huh?
Cyber
Can
sex.
handle it.
Yeah. I think just like it's not related, but I think what you brought up is just like looking up the side effects. But I think when we engage in things, we need to look up the risk. And you need to be aware of what the risks are and what can happen. Obviously, it may not affect everybody, but it can happen. So with porn, as a man, I think a lot of the risky behavior, a lot of the risks that come along with that is you do become detached from sex.
That's what I meant when I was trying to say in person.
Yeah,
detached.
yeah. And I think the way that it's kind of like you building a habit. So if you are engaging in a sexual experience that is on a TV screen or a computer or a phone, then it can alter your perception of how sex should be. And then it also can affect your relationship with somebody in real life. So like some of the lists that they list on here. So sexual problems. So loss of interest in a sex with a real partner, difficulty becoming aroused and or achieving orgasm without porn, because obviously you've built that relationship with porn. Intrusive thoughts, fantasies, and images of porn during sex, becoming sexually demanding or rough in sex, having difficulty connecting love and caring with sex, feeling sexually out of control and compulsive, increased interest in risky, degrading, abusive, and or illegal sex, growing dissatisfaction with sex, and sexual dysfunctions, inability to orgasm, deflated ejaculation, and erectile dysfunction. So all those are some of and obviously not everybody, but what I'm saying is that it's kind of like with food, right? That you can build unhealthy habits with food based on how you were introduced to food. So like if food is introduced to you as a treat or as a reward for your good behavior, then when you start feeling down, then you can start going to food to help you feel better. The same thing with porn. If that is your go-to when it comes to sex, when it comes to you being married or in a monogamous relationship,
That's what you're going to turn to.
Yeah, then you're going to turn back to porn instead of turning to your partner. So I'm not telling people what to do. Just be aware of what can happen if you do be engaging in porn, because obviously it's not real. Right. It's not a realistic depiction of what sex is, and the woman that you're watching is not the woman that you're living with. So you should be taking that energy. And I think people got to be more open to exploring your partner. Like at the beginning, it may not be the best, but over time it can be if you're like, hey, like, what do you like? What do you not like? Can we try this? Can we not try this? What are your boundaries? What are not your boundaries? And then if you are learning your partner the same way you learn your partner in just any other relationship, to me, the relationship should get better if you're listening and if you're caring. Like we always say, learn your love language. Okay, learn your partner's love language in the bedroom. What do they like? Are they vocal? Are they non-vocal? Are they expressive? Are they not expressive? Do they want to go rough? Not, like you have a blank canvas to explore your partner.
That's
with
why
toys or not. You know what I mean?
I do feel like sex gets better with time. When you have a one night stand with a person, you don't really get to know that person or their body or what they like, but we might have had okay sex, maybe like a couple months down the road, we're having great sex. That's because we've learned each other. So it does get better over time if you're communicating with that person and if the other person is listening.
It should.
Yes.
Because that first time that you're doing it, you're basically projecting your sexual experience or what you want or what you think sex should be on that other person. Unless you've had the conversation. Which
most people don't.
Right. Not on the first. Yeah. No.
now, I mean, some people do like, oh, this is what I want to do to you. This and this, you know.
Yeah, but they don't really do it when they can. They just get to it. You just.
It's a letdown.
Yeah.
Because again, I think it's that pressure of I have to be this sexual person. So a lot of times people be throwing out these crazy things they're gonna do, and then it don't never really happen because it's like selling the fantasy. And it's like, no, just what are you comfortable doing? What is pleasurable to you? Not what do you think I want you to say?
Yeah.
'Cause I think we've all been there.
Oh yeah.
Where it's been somebody talking up their game,
Hyping it.
and then when you see them, it's like.
It wasn't giving what it's supposed to give.
Hit that womp womp. Hit
Math
that
wasn't
womp womp.
mathing.
Hit that womp
I
womp.
don't even know what a womp womp is.
No, for real. I've seen that so many times in the sensuality group that I'm in. They're like, oh my God, I've been talking to this dude all this time and all of this and, you know, basically hyping it up and then it did not hit. And I'm like, dang.
I always think
terrible,
if it's okay, I'm like, okay, maybe like the 5th time, 3rd, 4th time.
Maybe he was nervous.
Yeah, we're gonna, it's gonna be magic.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yes.
Honestly,
Please.
usually the first time we are in our head like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Some guys are in it to just for the finished product,
And they don't care.
right? And I'm no, that's not fun. You gotta show the fuck up. You feel me? Best foot forward every time.
But you
So
don't
you would want to redeem
It's a
yourself.
calling card.
You don't want to get talked about in the group chat.
Hell nah.
I'm
If you
like, let's
redeem
run it
yourself,
I
back.
want more
Yeah.
followers after
I'm
I
always
get your
saying
shit.
we can't do it just one time. I hate one night stands. We always need to run it back because it always gets better.
Yeah.
Run it back.
Get
okay,
a
we gonna run
You
it
feel
back.
me? You gotta like,
give
you
it-
know, like,
Run that booty back.
Give a nigga a chance to
Run the
redeem
booty back.
himself.
Run the booty back.
Exactly, because you're thinking, you be like, you know what? I could have done this differently. You know, ooh, I learned a little something since then.
No,
Exactly.
wait, you got a sex replay? You going over sex tape?
Highlights, my guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
weak.
Boom.
Highlights.
Getting a little teleprompter.
But then you get comfortable too. If you're
Yeah.
talking to that
That's
person in
true.
between time, then you might feel like the pressure is gone.
I feel like it's pressure on both sides too. Definitely pressure on me. I feel like definitely more pressure on men. But it's pressure on both sides,
Yeah, it
especially,
is.
you know, we talked about it, body image, being
image.
comfortable
Yeah,
with
yeah.
somebody seeing your body. Like,
I think men don't realize that there is pressure on the women. I think most of us are taught that, that you guys are the prize, women are the prize. We're made to please you guys. So at least that was my experience. So to me, it was kind of it felt like it was all on my shoulders.
But that's what we're taught too, though, to please our man.
Yeah.
yeah,
Make sure your man feels good.
right. And
You
then
know?
it's like, okay, but since you didn't get where you needed to go, like,
But I think it's easier for men to get where they need to go.
it is. And I think that's the part that's so unfair because I'm like, y'all gonna get it either way.
Either
Right.
way.
Either way.
Either way. I mean, that's real. That's why I go into the idea of I'm not worried.
Because I know I'm gonna get what I need.
Well, you know what? But see, but with that knowledge, like for me, I would always make sure that my woman was taken care of 1st. I'm like, you make sure that you get off first because I know I can get off.
You feel me?
For me personally, it's harder unless like I have more of a connection with you. So for me, it's a little bit more mental.
Yeah.
Unless you're great. Unless you're great and you really know what
Yeah.
you're doing, it would have to take time for me to get to adjust to your body.
I got you.
Pretty much.
No, that's real. It's that way for
I think that's the most. I think that's yeah. I think so.
I think, yeah.
Do we answer the question?
Which question?
How is? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did. Can you break down the difference between intimacy and sex? I think this is an important question.
Yeah.
Very important
I think
question.
people don't.
Sex is more physical. So you're thinking rough, one night stands. You don't need deep connection just to get into bed. Intimacy is more emotional. So you want, like we were saying, the foreplay. You want that, the not the dirty talk, but you want eye gazing, deep conversation. Feeling free with that person, feeling comfortable.
Being vulnerable,
Yeah.
I would say.
Open.
Because
yeah.
intimacy, like you said, intimacy is not just physical.
Right.
Sex is
Emotional.
it's physical,
Right.
But intimate, you could be intimate with somebody and not have
sex.
had sex with them, and that's why I be saying there is a such thing as emotionally cheating.
Yeah.
You know what? We gonna have that. We gonna have that conversation at a different time. But it's very. I don't even say troubling. It's kind of puzzling to me that when people say cheating, they automatically go to physical. Why is emotional cheating not included in the umbrella of cheating?
I think
Because
that's for
women
most
do
men.
it probably more than men.
Because we're emotional.
Very valid. It's also not really talked about because it's one of those things to where it's discussed but not acted on. That's what you know what I mean when it comes to the emotional stuff.
Like I didn't act on
Right.
anything.
I didn't
so
act on it. Right. It was something that just kind of because emotional stuff kind of happens accidentally, naturally sometimes. No, actually,
Sometimes,
sometimes
yeah,
it does.
I would agree with
Sometimes
you.
it does.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it just be cool. It's like no, this person is cool, and then it just kind of accidentally just elevates to something because the vibe and energy is just there, and it's like damn, you don't even catch it until it's too late.
I feel like men
Sometimes
look
it
at
happens.
it like that way because they're not as intimate with other people. So it's like, well, I was just talking to her. It's not that big of a deal. But when you see a woman doing it, it's because, okay, she's opening up. She's getting to know this person. It might be a little bit deeper than just.
Yes. So with women, it's seen as deeper. Where with men, it's like
There's a little bit more effort involved when it comes to.
I feel like that
emotional
stigma is
actually.
harder on women.
because
Explain.
women are expected to be.
Like,
No, I know. I'm not when I'm making face because I'm thinking. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I
Processing.
think you guys are right. Maybe it's because more people would be guilty of cheating if we included emotional cheating.
I mean I mean, plain and simple.
Because
Yeah.
truth be told, having a work husband or wife, that's cheating.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And if y'all can be mad at me all y'all want, y'all can comment in the comments and put the finger up. I don't give a damn.
So-
it's cheating.
so-
if you are opening up and if you are sharing your most inner thoughts or things with somebody else instead of your partner, it's cheating.
I never had like
It's
a
a type of
It's
cheating.
a form of cheating. I agree.
Yes.
I never had like a work husband, but I had people that I worked with that were male that just did too much. And it's kind of like it's uncomfortable when you're in a workplace because it's like, you know, like you said, as women, like when we're uncomfortable, we laugh it off. But it's like, damn, come on. Like, you know, I'm married,
Right.
you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to have to check you at work. Like, we at work,
Yeah.
but just chill. Like, and it was always like, oh, I'm getting you lunch. You're not doing
Nope.
nothing for me.
Don't do nothing.
You're not doing nothing for
No.
me. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
As somebody that ain't trying to.
See, but that's why I disagree with you. I know I agree with you that happens sometimes, but a lot of times it is intentional.
And you
Because
know where it's coming
you're
from. I'm not a
allowing-
fool. I know what you're
because
trying
you're
to do.
allowing it. Like you going
Valid.
out to
Valid.
lunch with somebody at work
It's
one-on-one,
opening that door.
you should never do that. Never do that.
But this is the thing. If it wasn't like that, I wouldn't mind. But I know what you're trying to do.
yeah.
So
And you know when you're feeling somebody.
100%.
come on now.
If
and you
you
know
would-
when somebody is feeling you
Yeah.
majority of the time.
So here's where I like to tie some things in.
Uh-oh.
Right? Yeah, it's gonna be good. So you gotta understand that we all understand that you can't fight. You can fight it, but it's natural. It's natural to be attracted to somebody, right? It's natural for that to happen, right? So you try to fight your natural feelings.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yep. You try to fight your natural feelings because you are in a certain type of relationship to where that is wrong. You see where I'm going with this, right? You see where I'm going.
I already don't agree with you, but go ahead.
Damn, right? So this is where poly makes sense.
Oh my God.
Listen. Poly makes sense. I'm not. I'm here. I'm talking about it. Poly makes sense because you can't fight the fact that somebody's going to be attracted to somebody else, right?
But that's why I say men are more like they're not as emotional.
No, women say the same thing. Women say the same thing.
Hold on.
I think
Hold on. No. I'm not gonna let you do that. We're not letting you do that. Just because something feels natural means you should do it.
No. I'm not. Look, don't go down that
You
route.
saying this is why poly makes sense because naturally we're going to be attracted to more than one person.
Yes.
And
But
we
I
should be able to act on that.
Now, I'm not saying be able to act on it, but within the terms of your relationship.
Well, whatever. I get what you're saying.
Right. Because you understand that you're trying to fight this, but you're trying to appease your relationship.
But even in poly, there are boundaries.
Exactly.
There's always gonna be boundaries.
There's still boundaries. I'm saying,
So how is that any different than a regular relationship?
Because in a poly, you understand how energy works. You understand how feelings work. You
Okay,
understand how things
so-
work.
So you
But
can
hold
go
on.
back to your relationship people and be like, hey, I met somebody at work and I like them.
Yeah.
But what if the
That's what,
person?
if the communication is like that, if the transparency is like that, yes. Yes.
I'm cool. I mean, I ain't knocking
each his
nobody
own.
else.
Right.
I do believe a lot of women agree with that only because they feel like we're at a point where it's like, well, you know what, he's gonna cheat on me anyways. I might as well
Yeah.
accept the threesome we're gonna have,
That's-
the throuple.
So that side is
But it doesn't mean that they're fully like.
right.
Because I saw a couple like that. I was just watching this Love Don't Judge. I love watching that on Facebook. And it was a couple where the husband started cheating with somebody, I want to say at work. And then the wife found out, and then she was like, well, I want to meet her. And then they ended up becoming a throuple. But like, as they're telling the story, the wife was literally sitting there crying.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm like, obviously you were very deeply hurt about
Yeah.
the fact that your husband was cheating. And
She
instead,
just wants to keep her
you
husband.
brought this woman into the relationship. So that was very interesting to me.
But it wasn't as if, I'm sure if it was her true choice,
I don't
her
think she would've
her
did that.
husband, her husband would be fully with her and not.
Yeah,
with
I don't think
someone
she would
else.
have did that.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people gotta, regardless of what kind of relationship you're in, everybody has boundaries. If if you have those boundaries, stick to your boundaries, regardless of regardless of what they want. If you're not comfortable crossing that boundary, let them know that. If they have a problem with that, then there needs to be a discussion.
I personally believe in monogamy. And I believe it's not that hard to
stay.
physically be attracted to how somebody looks and be
Walk
able to
away.
just be like, okay, that person's physically attractive. It literally could just be that.
Yeah,
I agree.
What I don't like about that conversation, and what you're saying is not wrong. Obviously, there is a place for poly, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if that's what you want to do, hey, more power to you. What I don't like is monogamy is always placed as or described as like a prison. To me, I am choosing the same person every day. It is not I'm obligated. It is not that I'm chained. It is not that I am like forced to be with that one person.
Right.
I'm choosing to be with that one person, or I'm choosing to honor my vows, or I'm choosing to be in a family structure that has one woman and one man. It's not like, I think people look like the whole ball and chain, like, oh, you married, you can't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that was my choice. Nobody put a gun to my head and told me to say I do. I chose to say I do. And I chose to say I do with this one woman because there's qualities in this one woman that I love that I want to be with. So the same way that people say, oh, well, with poly, I'm free to explore these other relationships and things like that. That's fine, but it's still a choice.
And there's still boundaries. There's still like some people be like, I have to like, before you do anything, it has to
run through me.
Exactly. So it's still the same. There's still boundaries.
It's just more people. And to me, if somebody in that
It's just the
relationship,
option.
like if you brought a woman in and the other girl that you already dating said, I'm not cool with you dating her, then what are you going to say? Well, I'm naturally attracted to her, so I should be with her. But if the partner you already with says no, then it's conflict. It's either she out or you out.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's still, like you said, there's still boundaries. There's still, I mean,
Terms and agreement.
but it's just the fact that you have the option to have more people that it seems like it's freedom. But it's like, it's just a different type of
But
relationship.
you have just as much as freedom as you, I don't know.
I think it's the time we live in too, though. Like we live in a, free for all type of world now. So that's why they put that stigma on, married couples, like you said, your chain, my old ball and chain, or no freedom, or some people genuinely like being with one person, and that's okay.
I mean, just like you were saying, you're like, it's about a connection for me. And if you feel connected to that one person, that's,
You don't need.
I don't need
I can
nobody.
see a fine
yeah.
brother walking by, and I can be like, okay, well, that's nice, but I'm gonna keep,
And it's okay to be attracted to people.
Yeah, that's life. People look good. Like everybody else doesn't just become ugly because you married or because you're in a
Right.
relationship. It's just you're with somebody.
But when you know what you have at home, nothing else is going to get in the way.
Man.
And I feel like if I can do that, then I know there's other people out there who can do the same thing.
Absolutely. I always tell people cheating is not about people being attractive or the circumstances. It's about character at the end of the day.
Character and opportunity.
Yep. Amen.
Where are we at? This man Photo B got us off.
Man, all in the poly. He's determined to make this poly episode happen.
Well, bring a guest on.
There's a lot of them now.
There's a whole community.
Yeah, they're out there.
It's a whole
I've
community.
seen
We just
that.
gotta find one that's willing to come on the show.
That's not hard.
Yeah.
Seems like it is. But okay, next question. A lot of us have come up with conservative backgrounds. How do you overcome the shame and the guilt that is often associated with sex?
That is a good question.
Well, and you said that you,
Good
and I think
question.
it's a personal because you said that you
Yes.
grew up Christian. And you're still
So-
Christian?
I'm still Christian.
Okay.
Growing up, my aunt and my grandma made sure that I was in church all the time. Choir, Bible study, all that. So sex was like not, a big topic. But I noticed that I don't feel as much shame and guilt when I'm connecting with someone who I have a deep connection with. So if I'm sleeping with someone who I've already built that relationship with, I don't feel as much guilt and shame. Whereas to when might be having occasional one night stands or, I don't see myself going anywhere with this person, but we're hooking up. That's when I notice when I do feel like guilt, shame, I shouldn't be doing this. I feel conviction over it. But so I would say what's helped me is just only getting intimate with people I do have a deep connection with.
Got it. That's fair.
I want to say for me, it was just more so about becoming more comfortable with my body and how I express myself. I think a lot of times, like before, when I would see people doing certain things that I wouldn't do or wearing things that I wouldn't wear, I would feel a way about it. And I really had to ask myself why. And it was because of how I felt about myself. I felt like I couldn't do that, or I would feel ashamed to do that. So just really just taking the time to get to know myself and my body and get comfortable in my skin helped me to not have as much shame I feel associated around sex. And just even knowing that was a thing, like I didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
You know, it was kind of like, oh, wow, I didn't notice that women, we do get shamed for, how many partners we have and body count and all these different things. And like really just having to unlearn all of that. Like, who cares?
That came with age, I feel
With
like.
exactly,
Before I'm
maturity.
like, oh my gosh, my numbers, I better recycle a couple men. Nah, no.
Yeah,
Look,
I think
I'm
the
not
older
asking
you
about
get.
you. Your
And women
past,
would
don't ask
stay-
about my past.
Women would
None of
stay
your
in
business.
bad relationships or bad sex because they don't want to get another body. And so it's like, this ain't that great, but I don't want to add another body onto the list. Like, and it's just really just unlearning a lot of that stuff.
I agree.
It's hard, but it's necessary. I mean, it's the same thing like when we say like unlearning, internalized racism and all that stuff. You have to unlearn that internalized misogyny and like you don't even realize that you have internalized that stuff until honestly I looked at how I looked and viewed other women and treated other women and thought about other women. It's like, where is that mindset coming from? It's coming from what we've learned.
Right.
We're all flawed individuals. No one's perfect.
Right.
And you should do what makes you happy
Yeah.
and what feels good to you, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Nobody really knows what happens behind closed doors except the people who's behind the closed doors. Nobody's going to live my life. So
Right.
I'm going to experience the shit that I want to experience. I don't give a damn about anybody else because ain't nobody else got to know.
Right. I'm grown. I pay my own bills.
You feel me? Like,
gotta
whatever
get
I
to a
choose
place,
to do,
yeah.
that's what I choose to do. And I
Like,
really don't care.
Exactly.
It's honestly about correction too. Like people think like it's this thing that you just have to like you got to go through some radical changes. Like it's really just about correcting yourself in those moments when you see yourself, thinking negative things or shaming other women or you know what I mean? Stopping yourself and asking yourself like, why are you saying that? Like obviously, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what's helped me is like when I think negative thoughts or, think to shame somebody else.
You kind of
You got to check yourself.
Like, what's that got to do with
Where is
me?
that coming from? I ask myself that all the time. Like I said, going through social media, because you'll get triggered by certain things, and you got to ask yourself, like, where is that coming from?
Yeah.
Why did I think that?
Right. No, I think that's good. I think just checking inventory, and I think
check yourself.
Yeah, you got to stick to your personal convictions and your. One thing I will say about like morality and whatever, or if you grew up conservative or whatnot, I think we kind of like what Steph was saying. You have to re-educate yourself on what, like, I'm trying to say this in I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm trying to just find the right way to say it. You need to learn why for yourself. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying that is, like, obviously somebody that I grew up in church too. So instead of taking your information from somebody else, you need to learn why yourself. So like, it's very easy for somebody to take information and then project it onto you and twist it and tell you, like, majority of times they'll tell you what not to do, but then it won't tell you why not to do it. Mm-hmm. It'll be just don't do it. And that was always a message. Just don't have any sex before marriage. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it's like,
it was always like wrong.
Okay. So then, but when I'm seeing that, seeing other people talk about it's pleasurable, it's this, it's fun, it's blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, you're just trying to stop me from it because it's something that I may like. Mm-hmm. And then when you try it, it's like, okay, it was fun. It was pleasurable. So then it's like, well, what's the big deal? But until you actually do the research and figure out, okay, why? And then now I get older and we see all these problems with broken families. We see, blended families and things like that. Or you see, men that are complaining about the child support system. And it's like, okay, now I see what the importance of maybe, and you can still be married and still break up and get a divorce and still have the same problems, but it lessens the chances of it if you are in a committed relationship and somebody that you trust. I mean, California, I don't know if it's California. I think Sacramento has like one of the highest STD percentages out of like all the cities and like. So it's like those things are like, okay, it was fun, it was pleasurable, but then you start seeing the darker sides of you. It's like, oh,
it comes with consequences.
I'm not trying to get something that I can't get rid of for the rest of my life, or you know what I mean, or I'm not trying to procreate with somebody that I don't even know what their past traumas, what their values, what their morals are at, just because I wanted to have one night of fun, because that does happen. Where and procreation is probably the most loving thing you can do with anybody, is creating somebody else that you are having to raise. And then, we're not going to talk about it today, but the whole Kanye and Kim thing, now you are having to raise a child that you don't agree with on what needs to be done. And that can stop and create, I mean, they're rich. We're talking about regular people that can put you in such a deep depression or cause you to commit suicide just because you are in this consistent battle on how to raise one person. And as a dad, you're trying to do the best. As a mom, you're trying to do best. But if you are on two totally different pages, then it can just cause so much turmoil and then put trauma on the child.
That is
because now they're in the middle. So it was like, again, when you're going to do something, I think just as a society, as people, we don't sit down and think about the pros and the cons. We just think about what I want right now. And then, I'll deal with the consequences later. But your consequences not only affect you, they affect the child, they affect your family that may help out raising a child, they affect the other person's family. It's like such a ripple effect that thing that you're talking about doing, you need to look down the line and say, okay, this person I'm sleeping with, which obviously there's sneaky leaks and all that other stuff, but I'm just saying, just for the sake of the conversation, is this somebody I can see myself raising children with?
Exactly. And
if the answer is no, then you either need to be extremely careful or maybe you need to stop sleeping with that person.
Yeah, love don't fit.
Nothing's 100%. I always say that people are like, wow, we used a condom and it slipped out. At the end of the day, as an adult, the consequence of sex can be children, no matter what precautions you took, birth control, whatever.
I was
at the end of the day,
pregnant, so.
you can still like 19. That's come
19
on.
What?
19 years old.
19 and pregnant.
And my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Me too. I was 19 and pregnant, and that's why I don't have any more children, because now I'm 30 now, and I'm starting to think of those things like, is this someone I can raise a family with? What are his family dynamics? Does he have his mom in his life? So those all are things that I take into account now that I didn't when I was younger.
Yeah.
You was just out here having fun.
I was having too much fun.
Having lays.
Yeah.
No, it's that puppy love. That's what that I got on that puppy love.
Yeah. And again, it's not shaming nobody. It's just those are just the whole those are the facts. And then, depending on, then you bring in, foster care, abort. There's just so many other things that come along after that. And again, we're not going to get into a political debate about what you believe in, whatever. Whatever you do, whether it be sex, whether it be a job, whether it be moving to a different state, you have to look at the pros and look at the cons. And you have to be okay with whatever may come with that. And that's just in life general. We all make choices. Everybody has a choice on an everyday basis. And we I think need to be, now that I've gotten older, it's easier for to say that now. But as the OGs, we got to be talking to some of these younger people and telling them like, hey, look, you need to really think about, because this could be a life-altering decision. Who you procreate with or who you sleep with could change your whole life's projection moving forward. Not only just, again, your life, but everybody else's that may be a support system in your life. And just think we got to and I always say we're going to talk about this one day, but just better family planning.
Yes.
Because I wish I had that conversation too on looking into people's past and their childhood and how they grew up and their family dynamic before even conversing or dating. That's just a dating conversation. What does your family look like?
Right.
I think too, we definitely need to have a family planning episode, because when you talk about it, people are like, what? Even like me and my husband, we were talking about getting you could get the genetic testing done to see if there's anything. And people are like, what? Why would you do that? I'm like, y'all, that's part of family planning. You can do that. Yeah. You can see if there's any risk factor.
Why not do it?
Yes, I agree.
It's so much stuff that you can do that I feel like people just look at it weirdly, because most people, even married, most of the time when people get pregnant, it's a surprise.
Right.
It's never we were trying. I won't say never. A lot of times it's not like we were actively trying. It just was like, oop, we went on vacation and so people aren't kind of used to when you be like, oh, let's do this or let's.
No, it needs to be more intentional.
There you go. Because I'm like, okay, let me make my appointment with my OB. Let me go. Because that's what you do. Even if you are if you they ask you, are you trying to get pregnant? Because they will help support you in doing that.
Well, how do we always have a conversation about stopping generational curses, but then you don't have a conversation about what other things are coming down the pipeline as far as mental health, as far as physical health? Is there any are there any existing conditions that run in your family? So you don't want to talk about that, but you want to talk about generational curses.
Make it make sense.
How you gonna fight off a curse that you don't know?
No, seriously. But when they talk about generational curses, they always want what they're really talking about. They're talking about finances.
That's it. Money.
That's really what it is.
That's it.
I don't want to be broke no more.
And nobody do. No. But there's more.
There's more to it.
There's more.
But if there's a condition that runs in somebody's family, it could make you broke.
You never know.
You never know. We never know.
Yeah. All right. This episode getting a little deep.
Don't they all? Come on now.
Yeah, they do.
You know how we get down.
You know how we get
around here on Reverb Ave.
You know how we live.
All right, so we're gonna make these last two questions pretty quick. What are 3 tips you can tell men on how to better please their women? We'll leave that to Brittni and Steph, and then we'll answer the question on what are 3 tips to tell women on how to have better sex with their men.
I'm excited for that one.
Mine's is quick. Is something that someone told me, and it registered really deep with me. Eat it right, beat it right, and treat it right.
Okay.
And I loved it. I loved it.
Okay.
And there hasn't been one female who I told that to that disagreed.
That's literally.
We gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got you.
There you go.
Treat it. Beat it.
I can't complain about that.
For me, I would say more communication and intimacy, not just, automatically ready for sex, but just more communication, more intimacy, butter her up, talk to her nice. And then also diversify your stroke game.
Hey.
Amen.
Diversify your stocks and your cocks.
Come on. Yes. No, for real. Y'all gotta, especially black men, y'all gotta diversify y'all stroke game. Everything can't be bang, 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 bang. You gotta have some other shit in the repertoire.
I can't be pops in the bedroom.
Do a little dirty wine.
Something. Like I said, porn is messing y'all up. Y'all just got that one stroke.
It's the game finisher.
It's the one-hitter quitter, yeah.
Yeah, see, no.
No, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes,
And you know, that's why I said diversify. I didn't say nothing was
I
wrong
got
with
you.
that, but
I
just
got you.
diversify. Like,
Diversify your portfolio.
you know,
Brothers getting to do some yoga or something, man. Y'all gotta get y'all ain't stretched since 12th grade PE with the little block where you gotta put your hand on it.
diversify y'all stroke game. And what would be the last one? Oh, please get familiar with
Oh Lord.
the clitoris.
Oh, okay.
Where it's at, how to move the hood, how to come on, like get up in there. Like,
That's crazy. That it's really like niggas don't know that.
yeah, and that's where you should be at.
Especially in the internet age. You have the internet.
I saw a video of a dude talking about make sure you get the click.
Oh God.
And that's why I was like, I know you don't know where it's at
talking
because you
about
said
the rocket
click. But I mean, that's where you need to be at.
Clitoris?
Because I don't understand. Like, it be men that'll be down there licking the labia minora. Like, what is that? That ain't doing nothing.
Nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can touch me in other areas while you are still focused on the clit.
But what is you?
Yeah.
Those little flaps. That's not where you supposed to be licking at, brother.
No, not at all.
No, you laughing.
I know. I'm laughing because it's inexcusable. But it's fine. All right.
He like, oh, this is just basic. No, it needed to be said.
It should, but I know it needed to be said. But okay. It should be common knowledge. We are living the internet age.
You'll be
Everything
surprised.
you can Google anything.
Anything.
They're not Googling that.
You can YouTube
They're not
anything.
Googling that.
Well,
They think
okay.
some men think that they're really like good down there,
And
and
they're
they're not.
Okay.
And it amazes me. And like I said, I won't say I put all the blame on women, but I blame women.
Yeah.
Because you
We're
was
not
with women
communicating.
before that
Yeah.
obviously ain't said not a damn thing. Got you out here looking like a fool.
But that can be the comfortability. Like, that's when I say the one night stands. I might not tell you that the first time we link up, but after the
'cause
maybe
you don't know
third,
if that
fourth
nigga
time,
crazy.
I'm gonna let you know. Like, I don't really like that, or can you just stay right there, on that certain spot, or
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good point.
Comes with experience.
Photo B.
yes.
yes.
What are 3 tips you can tell women on how to better please their men? Excuse me.
I mean, honestly, like they said, communicate. There are things that we want differently too. There's some things that you might not know that you're capable of. You also may not be knowledgeable what I'm capable of. Tell me what you want. I can tell you what I want, and we can both be happy, right? Also, don't make sex seem like a chore. Don't make it seem like it's a chore. Like, show me that you actually want this,
Okay.
right? Show me that it's not just me putting in the effort trying to start something, right? We like foreplay too. We not might say it, but it's like, yo, show me that you want me, right? Get me excited too, because it's two way, right? And overall, it's just putting in effort, putting some effort too, because. Of course, it's going to come start. It's like we're going to be thinking about how we're going to get it done. We got to make sure we're getting it done because we got the pressure of because we're not going to talk to nobody about if you're not doing your shit, right?
Yeah.
We feel like you're going to talk to somebody else
If you
about
ain't.
if it
The
ain't
group chat.
right?
Facts.
Because we're going to get the side eyes from the friends if we ain't doing that.
Heard
Right.
about you.
You feel me? And I don't
Oh,
want. I don't,
man.
I want it to be the good I heard about you.
Yeah.
Oh, this the one? No,
Yeah.
I want the. I'm disappointed.
I've known my husband 10 plus years, so I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
That's
Please-
that's
please
one thing.
do.
You know somebody so long, it's like I'll be in the moment like,
And half the time,
That's your best friend. So it's
Right.
different. Yeah.
don't be telling your homegirls too much.
oh yeah, no.
Because I've had that happen where I've got DM slid. No, seriously.
They
I
was
know
like,
what
so
you're talking
what that
about.
do?
She said
reference?
that you was
Yeah, or like after we break up, then all of a sudden the friend hit me up after that, like right after the breakup. Like, hey, so what's good?
What's up, big head?
Scandalous.
Hit you with the what's up, big head.
Yeah, nah, don't be doing that.
It's like, girl, what you know?
You
About
need,
that?
so you need to be careful on what you be telling your homegirls. If it's good.
women are just like,
If it's bad,
well,
don't
I
worry
ain't even
about
gonna
it.
get into that because I be saying telling us all the time. People like, oh, so and so, oh, this girl, I know she said this. I'm like, I mean, I like all of them, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know if something happened with us, they're gonna be the first ones in your inbox. I
Especially
mean,
if
that's
it's a good
just,
man, for sure.
I mean, come on now.
Nope.
That's a
absolutely.
conversation for a whole nother day.
That's a whole
other
nother conversation.
2 hours.
Exactly. So go ahead and recap. I'm sorry.
Communication. Show that we're desired.
And effort.
Effort.
Okay. I will agree with communication. And I'm going to put in parentheses, give us direction. Most men want the direction because we want to, what's the, something about the assignment? How does that go?
I understand the assignment.
I understand. Most of us know we understand the assignment. We just sometimes we need a little direction. It's okay. Number 2, I will say, I will agree with Photo B that we do like foreplay as well. Foreplay might look a little bit different for us because we are visual creatures. So that may look like wearing something sexy. That may look like wearing some lingerie every now and again. That may look like sending us text messages or pictures throughout the day that are telling us that I want to do something that night or, put some time to the side for that. Because we want to be valued as well. So, just during the day, like, hey, sexy, whatever, or sending a picture that you ain't posted on Instagram that is directly for us. You know what I mean? That will like lead into anticipation. I'm big on anticipation.
Okay.
Build up the anticipation. Because then I'm like, okay, yeah, let me, do some little push-ups on my workout break. You know what I mean?
I'm so done with you.
Testosterone pushing.
You know what I'm saying?
Some burpees real quick. Like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah, and then number 3, I would say learn the sensitive spots on a man. Because sometimes you be down there and I don't know. This is past experiences, so I want to make this clear. Sometimes y'all don't know what y'all doing, and there's places that are more sensitive than others. And if you stroking or kissing or sucking on places, just we make noises too, and you just need to follow the instruments. It's like playing a guitar. Just if the noises sound good, then you just stay there.
Exactly. I'm going to explore you. You can explore me.
Yeah. So those are my 3.
Follow the breadcrumbs, basically.
Follow the breadcrumbs.
Those are my 3.
Okay.
That was
good.
I was about to say something. What was it? Oh, overall, also, sometimes it's not about, sex isn't always about finishing. Sometimes sex isn't always about having that orgasm. You know what I mean? Because sometimes some people can't, but still enjoy the journey of it.
That's good,
right? If somebody doesn't finish, but everybody still enjoy themselves, look at it like, you know what, that was a fun experience. Doesn't matter if somebody finished or die. Because check this out. That's how you can go multiple rounds. That's also sperm retention. Right?
Yeah,
if we just keep going and we don't finish, we can come back and keep on going and give you some more. We can do shit all damn day until we're like, all right, I'm done. Yeah.
And don't get it mistaken that just because some women don't orgasm from penetration don't mean it don't feel good. Like somebody asked that question in that group and they were like, hey, for the women who don't orgasm from penetration, why do you still do it? And they're like, because it still feel bomb. Like,
and sometimes they just haven't learned their bodies. It took me a while before I experienced that.
Right.
But I had to learn my body.
Exactly. So I'm like, don't assume that it's, well, I mean, sometimes it can be trash. Sometimes it can be trash, but a lot of the time, even in that situation, it still is enjoyable. So
yeah.
But for men, men is like, they want you to get that.
Because it feeds their ego. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. I think it's a really good point. I think it's a good conversation. Thank you, Brittni. We're going to give you a round of applause.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I think that was good. Hopefully, y'all, this was y'all listening. This was some gems.
Yeah, I hope I want to see people responses in the comments. Like I want people to expound on the conversation.
I think it'll be good. And please comment.
Yeah,
comment, and we will comment back. Are you staying for the whole episode?
If you want me to, I will.
Might as well.
All right.
We talked about communication. That was good.
Then I'm staying.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have anything to add on the 3 tips?
She said no.
No. What she was saying,
she was saying shit earlier.
She was saying that if you want views.
Like, nah.
She was over there nodding her head and agreeing on some stuff though. Eat.
Eat.
What about Nasty Nate?
Hold on.
He's 16.
Oh, my bad. I thought he was grown.
This is why I keep telling y'all, stop calling my brother Nasty Nate.
You ain't grown?
He in high school.
What?
You know what they doing at 16.
You are a child?
I did at 16. I don't want to know what he did. He's doing.
He said did. He's doing. Right?
Because I don't know. I don't know.
You're going to get Brittni Rayner trending again. Good Lord.
Look, I don't even bring him around to my photo shoots.
Hey, look.
Because I don't know.
Look.
I'm not ready for that.
For me personally, I did not have start having sex till I was 17, and I was late.
Same.
I was late to the game,
I
so
thought I
that's
was gonna
saying
save
something.
myself till marriage.
I
That
remember
was
the
a plan.
exact date.
I was late to the game.
I remember the exact date.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna save myself.
Like
till
people
marriage,
were
so
all
it
like,
wasn't.
"What?" You? I'm like, I mean, who was I supposed to do it with? Like, I don't.
Right.
Rob, how old were you?
17.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Why you
15.
ain't talking? 15.
I was 15.
17.
17.
But I will say that pressure started in my 8th grade year.
What man? That's what Tyson said. The same thing.
Same. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even. I remember like somebody. It was like a rumor that somebody had got their titty sucked in the bathroom, and everybody was like, "Oh, she a hoe, she a hoe." And now I think about it now, I'm like,
That's all you did?
and that was in like 8th grade. It's like,
Right. Looking back at it, like I remember somebody in 8th grade talking about how he ate pussy
in the
in
8th grade.
And everybody was like, "Yeah, he eat pussy." And it's like, I mean, I might do something a little bit later in the line.
No, you just.
I don't see that.
In the 8th grade.
In the 8th grade.
Oh my god.
You gotta remember also too, this is Pretty Ricky time.
Okay.
This is Plies time.
I was high school.
This is when R.
That's
Kelly was
why.
still okay.
That's why.
Yeah, I was high
You know
school.
He was older than his time. That's it.
I come from the generation where it was remember when we grew up, that was like taboo still.
It was.
We grew up in that taboo era.
It was.
Where
Yeah.
people found out that you did that, it was like, what?
It was a wrap for you.
But
So glad we're in this era.
I'm so glad we've gotten
Oh,
past that. Oh my gosh.
That's childish if
It
you
was
don't.
it was a
Childish.
wrap for you.
Yeah.
Like niggas wouldn't even like, had to do like the waterfall. You like, no, nigga, don't even touch my drink, nigga.
Oh my gosh. And even with women, I feel like it was taboo
Yeah,
sucking
that's true.
dick too. It was for a while. Now everybody can't wait to
doing it.
tell somebody that they suck dick.
You feel me?
Yeah, old girl got a song Throat Goat.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
I'm like, now it's like you said, you always said it's like the pendulum always swings
It's-
so
yes.
far to the other side.
Yep.
It's like, my gosh.
All right, so we're gonna get on to our next topic. Not next topic, or next segment, excuse me. We're gonna do choose violence or silence, where we play a clip
If you think
and
I'm here to play around with y'all, goddamn.
not playing around with y'all.
Not playing.
So we're gonna play a clip and we're gonna react to it. This is from. Hold on one second.
I know this segment, you might as well just call it violence for me because I'm always going to
We
have
always
something to
gonna
say.
say something.
I
yeah.
know me.
We always gonna say something. So this is from Devale Ellis and from Khadeen, where they're one of their podcasts, and they're talking about monogamy and expectations of the sex in the reality in marriage.
Okay.
So we're gonna play a little bit of a clip from them, and then we're gonna respond. And I just want to make sure everybody knows. So if you're in the comments, please comment so we can respond, because I think this is a good conversation. So I can't pull it up on my tablet, but I'll play it on my phone, and I'll make sure that you guys can hear it. But we'll go ahead and play this
That
real
brings me
quick.
back to my soundbite.
Okay.
Right? I don't understand, and this is what we can discuss as a woman, because I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me? If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
Well, we
if
know
two
that you pushed
people-
monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me?
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you lived with me? You didn't say that?
I want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm going to get it. I can want
but I'm
something,
asking,
but not.
You right now. You
Nobody.
dodging the question.
Nobody.
Okay, hold on. I wanna pause it. So you guys already got a taste of it. I'm gonna play the rest of it.
Okay.
You already choosing violence?
Yeah.
You choosing violence? Yes, you're choosing violence. I'm choosing violence as well. Do we agree that women push monogamy on men? Before we listen to the rest of the clip. Generally.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We're all on the same page. Okay.
Pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
you didn't press me. Are you gonna lie now
So
to
you're
the
gonna
people
say-
because we talking about sex?
DaBawl,
You're gonna
DaBawl.
lie now to the people?
Devale, knowing
Khadeen,
as
you didn't want
strong-
monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I want it and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
Talking about, you just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I
That's
not?
up to
am
you,
I?
bro.
Am I not granting you monogamy?
You are granting it to
So
me.
this is my question.
Look
This
at
is my
me
question.
always. Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
This is my question. If you wanted monogamy,
Okay.
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question. You're avoiding the question.
I'm not avoiding the question, but at first you said women, or in general me specifically, are pushing monogamy on somebody. Okay, yes, that's something that I wanted, but I didn't press you for it and be like, DaBawl, I'm gonna hold a gun to
Time
your
out.
head to propose to
So
me.
time out. Do
Also,
women-
also, let me finish. Also, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated it if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
So that's fair, but we're not even talking about marriage. Let's even talk about dating, right?
Okay.
Two people are dating. Typically in society, who asks for exclusivity first, a woman or a man?
I would say a woman.
Thank you. That was my whole point. See, you were going all over the place. If women typically ask for exclusivity first, then when they get exclusivity, say, he always on me, he always want to have sex. Why are we asking men for exclusivity if we do not want to participate in sex at the same level as men? We have to think about what that does to a
I hear
man.
that.
And I don't think that conversation is being had.
Okay, I agree. And that part I agree with. Yes, that women are typically the ones that will ask for the exclusivity. I get that, yes. But what I'm saying is, me as a woman, I don't think that I was necessarily prepared or in the mindset to know that. It's almost like once you get into it, then you're like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm going to have to keep up with.
I get that.
Us speaking as 36-year-old people know that now. Had I known that at 26,
I get that.
I would have to contend with that.
get
Even in
that.
the dating realm,
I
then
get
it
that.
might have been something I would have reevaluated.
So now,
Okay. I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the conversation that we were having as far as the expectations of sex in monogamous relationships. So we all chose violence. So let's hear the violence.
I'm going first.
It doesn't matter. Whoever wants to go first.
I feel like women do have to continue to put that effort in, but I feel like sometimes men don't really understand that, you know, nowadays women are working full-time jobs, they're taking care of kids, cleaning the house, and sometimes it can get tiring. When I was in family mode, I still had a healthy sex life, but I was exhausted. I was tired. And sometimes it takes the men to sometimes show appreciation and give that little effort. Let's take me out to dinner this night, or, you know, take me away for, if, you know, if that's what you're wanting, you know, kind of put me in the mood.
Kind of clear your mind from family mode.
Yeah, you got
to
a lot
be-
going on every
That's
day.
true.
Okay.
I think definitely expectations, not expectations change, but circumstances change. You know, in the beginning, you maybe didn't have 2-3 kids. Maybe, you know, so it does change, and I feel like the relationship has to evolve with it. But the whole, I didn't know, like, I didn't realize how I was gonna have to. Whatever amount of sex you was having during dating, it's not gonna change because you married now. You know what I mean? So the expectation should be what we have, right? At least what we have, where the bar is right now, is what it's gonna be going forward.
Right.
So I don't know how she was like, I wasn't prepared. Y'all was dating, right? Did y'all wait till marriage to have sex, or?
I think it changes. I think when you're married, I think, especially depending, and we talked about coming up from a conservative background, I think when you're married, the expectation is that now the shame has been lifted and I want to have more. And I want to be able to go further and explore and be more.
I can see that
You're
happening.
like, and I don't want to make it seem like it's like a possessive thing, but it's like you're my wife and all of my urges and all of my desires, I want to experience it with you. So
They need to be met.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Yeah, he has a point. Like he
Oh
definitely.
no, he definitely has a point. I'm just, it didn't make sense to me as far as like while she was saying, I didn't realize I was gonna have to keep this up for the rest of. I'm like,
Right.
You dated this person, you know what their sexual appetite was, but like you said, it could change, and I think sometimes it could change in the opposite of it's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, shit, we married, you know, we got all the time in the world to have sex, so people kind of put it off to the side, like,
Yep.
shit, this ain't, they're gonna be here tomorrow.
Yep.
So what it sounds like was in their relationship, they didn't move into with each other until they got married.
Until they were engaged.
So they understand how
Or
it was.
married. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
so
I'm
they
sorry.
got married. So it wasn't. So their living situation, they don't understand
Okay.
how each other lives on a regular
Okay, I
basis
see what you're
all the
saying.
time.
They did say
so
that.
they weren't like always around each other to where it's like we here, we ain't doing nothing. Let's
That's why I'm not necessarily. I know a lot of people are against living together before marriage, but I think for me,
you gotta
personally,
know
it's
how
you gotta know how
it's
somebody
you guys
is.
gel
'cause you-
together. Yeah,
exactly because you
on
really
an everyday basis.
Exactly. That's how you really understand somebody's four seasons,
That's
right?
true.
Because you're there on a regular basis. It's not like they can disappear from you. Like, oh no, I can't come through. Like I'm going through these things. You're experiencing that thing firsthand from when you wake up to you go to sleep. You're in that presence because you know that's where you're going to be at. So yeah, I understand. It definitely makes sense of what he's talking about. I think the reason why that she thought it wasn't going to be the same way throughout is because growing up, we keep hearing about how the sex in marriages decline, right? Because it just gets complacent or whatever, and nobody was talking about improving it. So there was no communication within it. So it just sounded like it's just no sex. No sex.
You hear that a lot.
A lot.
And there's scientific reasons why. I think we talked about that before, but your hormones and your chemical imbalance and things like that, it changes when you are going from being in lust to then being in love. That it's two totally different chemicals.
But women, what I find interesting is that women, honestly, we go up
As our age,
as we age. Like,
As far as the sex drive, yeah.
sex
drive
drive,
goes
it goes
higher.
up, and then at the same time, men is going. That's where men start to
Go
decline
down,
and start to
yes.
get the ED and all that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. So it's like that is so.
See, but I think sex drive and like the beginning the beginning part of the relationship when you're in lust, I think those are two totally different conversations. 'Cause I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's weird that it's the
It's
arrows
opposite.
are always going opposite.
That's weird to
Yeah,
me.
but I think again that you have to be intentional. And the point that I want to hammer on him that he made is that men do not want to have sex if you are making it feel like it is a chore. We do not, because it makes it feel like you're just tolerating us or you just be putting up with it. But again, the conversation should be had on what is a realistic expectation on how many times we're going to have sex a week. Because one person may be saying it's sex every day. The other person may be saying twice a week because like you said, I gotta raise the kids, going to school, working. I may not have enough energy, maybe low on iron. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different reasons. I may be depressed.
Did you say low on iron?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Tired. Hey, black people. Hey, no, listen.
I'm
Black,
low on iron, but
black,
still, even I
black
can do it
people.
more than twice
Hey,
a
we
week.
talking about Black History Month. Black
Okay,
people.
superhero.
Black people are naturally low on iron, and that's why people be like, "Oh, I'm tired," or "I feel like
gotta
I'm
go.
anemic." Hey,
This fool said low on iron. My iron kind of low. I ain't got it today.
Hey. Y'all be
Listen.
cold.
That's real, that's fact.
Y'all be
Listen.
cold when you ain't got no energy.
Listen.
Y'all be tired when you ain't got no
Listen.
iron. I'm just saying, it makes sense.
Somebody listening to this is feeling me like, "Oh yeah, man, that's what you told me."
She gotta take them iron pills.
I am.
Now, but
I
on
take
a,
my iron pills.
on a serious note, we do not want to feel like we are just being tolerated.
Yeah.
It needs to be a place where you feel like that you want to be there and that you are present and that you enjoy it. And if there is something that's getting in the way of that, then you need to communicate it and you need to let us know I want to have sex with you, but I don't feel like myself, or I don't feel like I have the energy, or I'm tired, or I need, or tell them what you need. If I come home, if you guys are both working, because most people live with two income households, if you guys are both working and you expect your woman to come home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and then you want sex at the end of the night, as the woman, maybe you need to say, hey, if you want me to have more energy for you at the end of the night, can you help me with the kids? Can you help me with cooking? Can you help me with cleaning? And I will be there for you. But if you don't say that, and you're trying to be superwoman and you're trying to do all those things, plus please him at the end of the night, it's not going to work. Something's going to have to give.
I think too though that people find that so impersonal. Like, remember the whole conversation about like
Planning sex?
planning. Like, people don't like that. People think, I don't know if it's because of movies or what, that they think everything about it is supposed to be spontaneous. And I mean, which is cool, but I think people don't understand that you do have to be intentional. We talking about making something last forever. That's gonna take more than just spontaneously making it just spontaneously falling together. Like, you're going to have to put some type of effort in it, and for some people that takes away from it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
And it shouldn't.
I don't think so.
No. I think we had that same conversation about date night. Just because you schedule a date night doesn't mean that it can't be spontaneous.
Yeah.
You can still be spontaneous within the schedule.
Yeah.
But and sometimes you got to do that, especially if you're, again, it's a 2-income household. You're tired.
And just because you have that expectation or that, you know, again, that dynamic of, okay, I need more help if I'm gonna be able to have enough, that doesn't mean it's like you said, it's not spontaneous. Like, just because you have a scheduled date night doesn't mean you don't do other things.
Exactly.
That's just the one. That's what's put.
That's for sure.
That's
Right.
the for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was good. So that was the violence of silence. We're going to get into the internet wins again.
The internet been interneting lately.
Oh, the internet's been definitely interneting. Hold on, let me.
My goodness.
Oh, man, I'm tripping. Here we go. Internet wins again. Oh, why does it always do that to me? Oh, man. It's like a damn rhymer.
Oh, we.
Here we go. Internet wins again. Where we talk about the hottest internet topics that's trending across the world. The first topic, who we talking about the first topic? Was it Fizz and Nelly, or was it?
No, it was Danny Lay and
His brother.
And the baby.
And
Okay.
DaBaby.
Good Lord. All right.
Speaking of being careful of who you have children with.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my God. All right, Steph, give us a breakdown. What's this started with the live where
Yes.
DaBaby kicked Danny Lay out
of the house, and she wouldn't leave because she had her baby.
because she had the baby. Then Brandon Bills, which is Danny Lay's brother, threatened DaBaby by saying he was going to beat his ass and he wanted to box him and all this other stuff. So somehow, somewhere, they both all ended up at the same bowling alley.
Yeah, that's the part that confused me. I'm like, how did was they shooting a video? Because it was somebody there with a camera. I don't know. But somehow they ended up in the same place at the same time. And from what Brandon says, he approached him on some, let's talk, let's have a conversation. And it turned into a fight.
It turned into a brawl.
A brawl.
The brawl.
Yeah, basically a brawl with everybody slipping and sliding on the bowling alley
Damn
floors.
bowling alley floor.
But
So yeah, we don't know. Yeah, because Danny Lay said that DaBaby approached Brandon. Brandon said that he approached DaBaby. We don't know who approached who.
Yeah.
It sounded like that like you said, Brandon approached him to request a one-on-one, and he was solo. So,
it wasn't a good idea.
it was the worst idea in the world.
At a bowling alley.
What I think you posted it. What about DaBaby made you seem like he would be respectful enough to accept a one-on-one fight?
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Nothing.
He don't seem like the type that you like. I came to you like a man on some real. That he doesn't give that vibe
no,
of
he
come
doesn't.
to like a man.
So thoughts. I got some thoughts. I got thoughts on both sides.
Yeah, that's her brother, but he
Yeah.
did what he had to do.
Right.
Well, he didn't.
I mean,
Well, he tried.
He tried, but
The
he
effort
didn't.
was there.
The effort was there.
It's
Yes.
the thought that
He
counts.
He was caught slipping.
You can't get mad at him for defending
No.
his family, or even, I mean, he didn't get the one-on-one fight,
No.
but
I don't think that it's really necessary. Like, the conversation that needs to be had is the conversation that needs to be had between these two parents that got a co-parent. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think there's nothing that's gonna come out of you fighting him because he clowned your sister. I mean, I get why you want to do it, but at the end of the day,
I want to defend her.
there's
honor.
still a child involved that they have to raise together. So what is going to beat him up? how is that going to help the dynamic
That's going to cross like
of
some little bit
co-parenting?
animosity.
It's not. Yeah, right.
You know, it's
what I
just
mean?
going to create more issues.
More
It
issues.
just
I don't
depends
wanna
on
come
how
out
you
of the
said
family.
if he approached him in a manner of like, can I speak to you one-on-one? Because
Yeah.
that's what I heard you
But
say that
initially, he
first.
was like, it's on site. And that's one thing you can't say on
It's like,
site.
because it's going to be on site.
Because when I see you, that's what I'm assuming. Like, on site is on site.
On site.
That on site is not, when I see you, I'm going to request that we go to the side and have a conversation.
And-
That's not
and
what
we'll
on
talk.
site
Yeah.
means.
No, that's true.
You know.
But when it's not just him, you know, if he approached him in a calm manner
Mm-hmm.
and that's what came out of it, it's not necessarily his fault.
But he definitely should,
Because, I
as
mean,
a
he
brother.
would be mad. He would be
Yeah.
mad. In the moment,
As
yeah,
a brother,
it's on site.
as a brother, you would want to have a conversation about what went down.
Yeah.
I get that part of it. I'm just saying, as far as like the whole fighting and all of that, like, what is this? That's not.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, I think it's so many sides to this. It's like multi-layered. I understand him trying to defend his sister because DaBaby did disrespect her on live for everybody to
It
see.
was ridiculous.
So yeah, he did a lot, and not only did he disrespect her, but I mean his own child because he was kicking them out. I think
And
he
the
wanted
family.
to keep.
He also
yeah.
said things about her family too.
Right. So as a brother, as the man of the, I'm not too sure if her father is around or whatever, but he was basically trying to defend his family. So I get it. But like you said, when you say it's on site, there is no talking. At that point, there's no conversation. I respect him for wanting to do a one-on-one because not a lot of people will do that. So I get what he was trying to do. And I feel like as a man, if somebody requests a one-on-one, if you are a respectable man, then you grant that man a one-on-one, especially when you were disrespecting his sister and his family. You walk outside and do it. Obviously, with them at the level they're at as far as fame and money, probably not gonna get a
It ain't
one-on-one.
that. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And the whole reason why he got security around him is so that way there is no one-on-ones. So he just went about it the wrong way. You do not run up to somebody solo that is surrounded by 6 or 7 people that are 6'9" and think that you're gonna get a one-on-one. If you were set on site and you felt like your sister was disrespecting, then it should have been swinging on site or you leave it alone.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he was right to respect it, but he was wrong on how he moved because street niggas move differently. There is no one-on-one. There is no, I'm going to shoot the fair one with you anymore. It is, if my niggas is there, because those men are trying to prove their worth around him. So they're going to try to do something to get in his good graces. Those are men that are probably hungry. They ain't got no money. They just with him on the road and they trying to be into the entourage. So those niggas are willing to do more than what the original person may want to do. So he just didn't look at it right. He thought that it was going to be a talk, go outside, let's do this, whatever, box, or he was talking about trying to do some boxing match on TV, whatever. I don't know what he was trying to do, but
Trying to do this with
he
Thriller.
did not assess the situation correctly. And I posted it on Facebook. If that was me, after getting punched like that,
The strike.
You know
strike-
what?
and I don't think the punch but the punch didn't even connect.
It didn't.
It's like, it was weird because he said he was solo, but then like on the story he said if I had one real homie, it would have went differently. So I don't know if he was there with somebody or not.
Or he said maybe if he.
I don't know, but
Who, Brandon?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you had people there with you, Brandon, if you listen, which you probably not, change your circle, because I've been in a situation where I've been jumped and like so-called friends have been on the sideline and watched, and I didn't talk to him after that. Matter of fact, we squared up after that.
Yeah, I don't
Because
do
you
that.
let me get jumped and you didn't do shit. Luckily, I didn't, wasn't no major injury, nothing like that. But he just moved. He put himself in a bad situation.
I've always been the person like I don't jump into my friends' fights if they're one-on-one with somebody, but if they start losing, I'ma stop it.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna let
exactly.
you get beat.
At least to
Fight
make
over
sure
it.
that they safe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna stump. You know what I mean? Like, if you start losing, that's the end of the fight.
Yeah, just don't think you gonna be. If it's a street nigga, if it's somebody that, because where they come from, they don't know how it's gonna go down. So
I
they're
think
not.
like my brother, he's like that, and he's always said he like, don't call me about no nigga if that you gonna go back to. That's always been his thing. Like
That
he's
part
not.
too.
I'm not about to be out here
I think
fighting.
It's
Or
the way he did her though. Like he did her so cold in front of everybody.
He did,
She's
yeah.
not no regular girl. She's in the public eye. So I think that's what made it worse. And not only that, he put his daughter in the middle of it.
right.
I think in most cases it would be like that. Like I don't want to get involved because you're gonna be running right back to him. But
Yeah.
I think it was the extent of how far it went is where it's like, okay, you know, you disrespect my whole family. Like now it is an issue.
The one thing I found interesting, and this is a sidebar, is he was saying nigga a lot. And what I found very interesting, and this may be a different conversation for a different day, that he did not receive the same backlash that Danny Lay received when she was talking about her ethnicity or her race. Mm-hmm. And maybe because he's not famous, but I just found that interesting that she got a major backlash for the skin tone and the colorism and things like that, and wanting to be
and
black.
saying she not black.
Yeah, and then it's just a sidebar.
I think it's because he's a man, and I think it's because he is hood.
Black passing.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I just it was.
I noticed it.
It was interesting. Go ahead, Photo B.
Not the blink.
We still talking about the fight?
We're talking about just the situation.
Yeah,
in
just
general.
fight.
Yeah. I mean, I really got much to say about that, just because that shit was stupid.
It was.
You know what I mean? Because like, you know, that wasn't the place. But I mean, like, if it was on site, it's on site.
And on the baby side, it wasn't smart for him either.
No.
Because now you put your bag in jeopardy for something that you shouldn't.
You still swung.
Yeah, and LAPD is investigating it now.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's on camera.
It's on video.
And he's banned from the bowling alley. It's on video. Everybody saw it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Brandon doesn't have to press charges.
No.
They can investigate it and they can press charges on their standpoint. Mm-hmm. So now you put your bag in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. Which it probably would be a slap on the wrist.
He's had worse.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
You know what I mean?
But
he's not gonna,
I'm not putting my bag in jeopardy for somebody that I don't need to be giving the energy to.
I really don't think it's gonna fuck up his bag like that.
It could. I don't think it will, but what I'm saying is you put yourself in these. Okay, so for instance, what if he did punch him? He don't know who's with Brandon. What if one of the dudes that's with Brandon is a real street nigga? And what if one of the niggas with Brandon has a gun? And what if he would have started shooting?
Well, that's different.
But
you're talking about, you know, when you say about he's fucking up his bag, I'm thinking you're talking
as far
about
as like getting sued,
right? Getting
or
sued
as far
and
as like
stuff like that, to where it's like, you know, getting canceled
or
level
going to
type
jail.
shit.
No,
Right.
I'm talking about being in a situation like how Shine was in a situation where you're in a club, somebody starts something, and because your reputation, you do something that causes somebody else to be harmed. You can be sued for that.
Well, yes.
That is true.
That is true. That is true.
But I'm sure he got enough money to cover that. He probably ain't thinking about
I
that. He ain't thinking about
definitely
that.
believe it's a potential to mess up his bag. I just think overall
It messed up his image
Honestly,
partially.
I don't think it did. I think it gave him, because he was on LA Leakers the next day and he posted a freestyle.
Yeah,
I think it actually helped him.
It's part of the culture. That type of shit is part of the culture. And now if it was say like somebody else like Bieber fighting or some shit, right? It'll be a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
it'll be seen different for him.
And also if he was who he was fighting. If he was fighting somebody like Lil Nas X,
Yeah.
I think
then that's a whole different thing.
I think people were more so saying like upset about them jumping him and
that's why I
then
say
pulling his
that.
hair, which is
Yeah.
kind of bootsy, but
Yeah.
That's what I mean by his image. Like that.
I got you.
Like, why can't
Yeah.
Well, I
you-
think that he's already like seen as like the bad guy already. So I don't think it hurts his image anymore. Because the whole age stuff, the gay comments, like the whole live thing, he's already seen as like
the hood niggas.
niggas don't root, like we're not
Problematic.
rooting for him.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the exposure is obviously helping because it's like
makes him relevant.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Unfortunately.
And plus too, like when it comes to like that kind of fight, you got a different element around. When you got the sleeky ass lanes and shit, and motherfuckers like, oh shit, he's slipping. I might have to go help him out because motherfuckers ain't getting no balance. So everybody
just-
started running over there.
you got to be real careful in those situations as far as like, especially like brothers going to defend their sisters. It could turn.
It can be deadly really quick.
It
can.
could. It's gotten deadly.
It
Yeah,
can.
it can because it's more emotion into it than what would be like just a regular fight.
Right.
Like these are actually like, you know, so yeah. All right, we gonna typically, and this is what we're gonna do, because typically going forward, we're not gonna start it now, but in the near future, this would normally be the end of the show. And then there will be bonus content. We're giving y'all bonus content for free because we love y'all. So we're going to go ahead and do this real quick. This versus Nelly versus Lil Fizz.
Oh my
And then we're going to
gosh.
get out of here because we know y'all got to get ready for the Super Bowl and all this other stuff. So real quick breakdown. Nelly accidentally uploaded a sex tape on his IG story of a woman giving him head. And then the next day, Lil Fizz,
His OnlyFans got leaked.
his OnlyFans got
Those are
leaked.
OnlyFans.
He has OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I guess so. I didn't know.
I guess them checks ain't checking. Okay.
Extra bread.
He got kicked off that Millennium tour. He had
Oh yeah, he did get kicked off.
You got kicked off of it?
yeah, that Millennium.
After that April shit, right?
Yeah, after the thing, B2K, it was just Omarion after that.
Yeah, Marion wasn't playing with
B2K
y'all
wasn't
niggas.
asked to come back to the Millennium
He
tour.
wasn't playing with
He was
y'all
hell,
niggas.
like, I'm cool.
He was like, y'all want to sleep
Y'all
with my
fucking
baby
with your
mama?
back.
All right.
You think I'm here to play around with y'all? God damn it, I'm not.
Okay, so what I want to ask y'all, because this obviously is not a deep conversation. It can get deep, but it's not really a deep conversation. Do you think that celebrities leak their own shit on purpose?
Hell yeah.
I don't think Nelly's was leaked on purpose.
So you
How?
think
I
that-
don't think so.
It was.
No.
I think it was on
I
purpose.
literally went to post about it, and I was like, I'm gonna post this to my close friends because I want my aunties to see me talking about dick,
Right.
on my Instagram. And I went to post it, and I was like, damn, I'm going to put that in my close friends. It happens.
It happens, yeah.
I'm like, shit. Now I see how Nelly got caught up because I was gonna post talking about it in my close friends and accidentally.
But
posted
other
it.
leaks, do you think that those are on purpose?
Sometimes.
Like
I
the
think
Hitman
sometimes.
Holla or the Safari, like all those.
Hitman Holla said the same thing. Was that was for his close friends, and I'm like, is this normal? People post this in their close friends. I'm only in one close friends where they post like
I don't.
sexual stuff.
You
I don't
still,
even have a close friend, so I would not know.
yeah, you still get checked on that by Instagram if you put it on close friends. I try to post like a meme in there, and they were like, no.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Like they'll take the shit, they'll take it down.
Yeah, because the
They
person
even
was
put
like,
close
"Oh my
friends.
god, y'all keep hating on my videos." I'm like, "No, that's Instagram
That's
saying you
Instagram.
can't post that."
Right. Exactly.
And it's like, yo, like that's my fault with my close friends. I thought it was within the limits.
Honestly, when it comes down to celebrities and marketing and clout, I don't put nothing past nobody at this point because that's one thing that is starting to get frustrating for me with the internet is everybody chasing the gimmicks, like the big buff dude dancing everywhere and all that. It's like
he hella short. Too.
it's just like it's frustrating because I'm like, it's so much dope shit out here on the internet, and this is the shit that's viral.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that's why, like, for me, it's just like I hate clout chasing. I hate gimmicks.
Yep.
Okay, so whose fault is it that the gimmicks are working?
I don't know. I think it's the
I think it's
consumer.
part of it is the algorithm.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the algorithm.
And that's why, for me, you see me always say, I'm not finna comment on I hate commenting and liking on stuff that I don't like. And I feel like I have to for the sake of the podcast and these conversations.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I'm seeing more Kevin Samuels on my timeline. I'm saying it's like, I don't want to see these people.
Yeah.
But if you interact with the content, they gonna put it in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's why when people share the big buff dude, like, I'm so tired of seeing it. It's like, you're going to keep seeing them.
Because you keep
Because you
sharing
just
it.
shared it.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't believe. So Nelly's we don't believe was done on purpose. Lil Fizz's.
I believe it was on purpose.
Okay, you do. I'm sorry,
believe
but
it
I
was on
mean
purpose.
generally.
You think Nelly's was on
Hell
purpose?
yeah.
Okay, so he believes Nelly's was. Lil Fizz's. You think that? I think that was on purpose.
I don't know if he did it though. Somebody else.
Okay. So we
Well,
don't.
I mean, being that it was on OnlyFans,
OnlyFans.
somebody could have.
Easily.
But don't you
recorded
get
it.
like, I don't have OnlyFans account to even look at other people's stuff. But like, if you record stuff, isn't it kind of like where it tells you if somebody
think so.
recorded?
I don't know.
I think it depends on the.
I think.
yeah, because I think
I don't know.
I think when you go
Because
through
like
and
on
purchase
Instagram,
content-
if somebody's watching your story
I
and they
think she's
screen
right.
record it,
I think you're right.
It notifies, and then because a lot of people say if you screen record, I'm gonna kick you. Like basically, you'll
I think
be
you're right.
kicked out of that person's
I think you're
fans.
right
I think
because
it
it's
depends
because
on
it's
the
paid because you're making people pay for your content. So I would hope they would
Exactly.
have some type of
I think they have some
something that
protections
tells you. Yeah.
when
So
people
Unless
are
you have a
screenshotting.
friend recording it.
If you record
from
the
their
phone- yeah,
separate
that,
phone.
yeah, like
That's the
something
only way
that's
around it.
Yes, yeah.
That's the way around.
So maybe
it.
that's what happened. Okay, I don't know. I didn't. All I did was I went on Twitter and I saw the reactions. I didn't watch. Obviously, I'm not gonna go run and go look at those videos. I just saw the reactions and it was all bad on both. So
I think a conversation we needed to have, since we was talking about sex, is the
body shaming.
Not even the body shaming, just the unrealistic expectation that is put on black men as far as like their size.
The trope. Okay, let's talk about it.
That whole thing, like I feel like, as a woman, obviously I've seen more dicks than y'all.
I'm sure.
But at the end of the day, I think that whole hypersexualization of men and them being mandingo and having all, that's not true. Majority of men are average size. I don't know why there's this expectation that all men are like 9-10 inches or black men. I'm like, sis, if you got 7 to 8,
I could work with that.
You're blessed. But most men are average size. Most black men are most black men are average size. So it's like people were saying Nelly was small, and I'm like, he's average size.
But do you think that's because he's black, or do you think it's because it's Nelly?
No,
I think it's because it's Nelly and because he's black. It's both of them. I don't care. It's definitely because I see that whole what is it called? It's a whole damn.
It's a stereotype.
It's the porn thing. The
BBC,
BB, whatever.
I got you. Yeah.
That
BBC.
Do you think that his marketing had a part to play in that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think
Absolutely.
I think because when you market yourself as Mr. Tip Drill, and you were the sex symbol, and you were the EI country grammar, all the women loved you, all that they had a fantasy of what he was, and then when it was crushed, then that's where you got the reaction. And a part of that also was that he just like recently told Madonna to cover up when she posted a picture. Like she posted a picture of her ass, and he was like, you need to cover that up. Like something shouldn't be seen. So it's like right after then, nigga, you accidentally posted your own video.
I think for me, I think too, like what you have at home compared to what Nelly got, and it's like, this is Nelly, and I'm like, damn, you shitting on Nelly, like, you know, and this is Nelly, and you know, he's a celebrity, and obviously he's
so people put him on that
pedestal. And that's one thing. I these is regular people.
Okay, let me ask you this: were you shocked when you saw, or no? Were you disappointed?
I was disappointed, but I wouldn't say shocked.
Okay, so you're
because, like I said, I have the mindset that most men are average. Because I had to put myself on blast, but like when you first start having sex, and if the first person that you're with is like well endowed, and then like that's what happened for me, and then after that, like
you kind of get
after I broke up with that person, and then I'm like, wow, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
Like you get out here in these streets, I'm like, wow. Hey, you still trying to like you be big head real quick because you're like, wow, like that's not
normal.
I just got lucky. You know what I mean? So when I found my husband, I'm out the streets. I'm out the streets. It ain't worth it out here.
Shout out to Coach D-Lo.
Cause so that's why I said I wasn't shocked.
But
I
you were
was disappointed.
Okay. Were you
It's
disappointed?
Oh
for
man,
sure. But
really?
it wasn't. He wasn't as small as like I'm reading the memes before I even checked out the video.
They
so
had
I'm
me
like,
thinking
oh my
it
gosh,
was
I wanna see it.
Pinky.
Exactly. And when I see it, I go, well, it's not that bad. It's not.
It really
humongous,
wasn't.
But it's not that bad.
Come on now. That's why I'm like, stop playing. Y'all out here, y'all know what's really out here in these streets. Stop acting like it's small because of what you expected from Nelly. That's why I said disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing.
Because baby,
I agree.
I have seen smaller than that with my own two eyes.
Did you see it?
Yes. We watched it.
Okay. Were you disappointed? Oh damn. Damn. What was y'all expecting? That's what I want to know.
Well, like you said, he puts on this image from the music he sings, the way he looks.
What would you estimate it as? I'd say about maybe like 5 inches.
Yeah. It's like, it's a little bit below average to me.
Yeah.
A little bit, but.
Because they say average is like what?
6? I thought.
3 to 6.
Who,
3?
3 to
No.
6 is average. Yes.
No.
Take 3 out of it. They lying. That's no.
With all the
Absolutely
memes,
not.
I'm telling you, because people were people were defending him, and I'm telling you, it's 3 to 6. Pull it up.
5 to 6, I would say.
Look
5
it
to
up.
6 is
I say
average.
5 to 6 is average.
Look it up.
'Cause when
Okay,
you get
5
to
to
7
6 is
and
average
8,
to us because if you're below
No,
5,
to you, and that's fine.
yeah,
That's fine. If you're asking generally, like if you were to look it up, and again, because all the memes and all the reactions, and again, there was a whole Nelly tribe trying to defend him, that it was what I saw was between 3 to 6.
Is average. Okay.
So let me ask y'all this. I think I know the answer. What's more important? Length or girth?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Girth.
Yeah, I like it a little thick.
Girth. Okay.
Well, because if you think about it, if you think about the women's anatomy,
What?
Oh, I was gonna say, if you think about the women's anatomy, like the way that our clitoris is, there's the part that y'all see, and then there's the part on the inside.
Yeah, it goes.
And you need girth to get that. And so I think that's what a lot of men don't know, that the clitoris is internal. It has like, it basically like, look at your dick. You have your dick, and then you have it's like that on the inside.
Gotcha.
So if you ain't
That's how we're able to get the orgasms from penetration.
From penetration, and that's why a lot of women don't, because you're not hitting that internal. Yeah, so
or maybe your
you're not
package
able
isn't built to
If
like that right
if
in
this is
within
the
that
legs
inch
and you're
place.
real skinny, you're not. You're not massaging those.
Yeah.
So
Or it may not be the right position.
yeah.
Might
That
try
too,
some
yeah.
positions.
That too. That's what
So yeah, that's why most women will say girth.
Okay. How about Lil Fizz?
Oh my god.
The memes are funny.
Yeah, and they're accurate. The memes were definitely funny. It just looked weird. I mean, it was small, but it was just the head was so
why
much
does he
bigger
have
than everything
OnlyFans?
else. I don't know.
I feel like it would be a little bit longer if it wasn't so curved.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this whole conversation coming up, and then people saying like, "Oh, it's body shaming men to talk about their penis size or whatever." I guess it is.
It
Can we-
is.
yeah,
I feel
can we-
bad. I
okay.
don't like to down nobody.
Can we
you know.
ask the question? Is it body shaming?
Yes,
You said yes.
In my
You
opinion,
said yes.
That's all you have. You know that that's their
That
ego.
was. I mean, it is part of your body. So yes.
It's a part of your body. I say
Yes?
yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay.
It's body shaming.
Young
I
Nate.
think it is.
I'm gonna call him Young Nate. I call him Young Nate.
Thank you.
Well, now that we know that
Never mind.
he's
He over there.
young,
He's over there texting his bae. We
First
are
off,
okay.
you should have.
Body shaming. So yes,
I think so. Yes.
the conversation we had on our group page. Do you think that it is disrespectful to equate body shaming to men when majority of those conversations are directed, or the movement has been to protect women?
Body shaming?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that anybody else that isn't wrong. I see both sides of that. But the whole, get your own movement or whatever, I get that, but it is what it is, as far as like it's still body shaming. But I get the frustration of the men that have put women in the position to have to start a movement about body shaming and basically reclaiming your self-image and all of that, to now want to be a part of that and use it as a protection for them. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't even
I
be in
agree
this.
with.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree with that totally. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get that part, but
Because that's kind of like what white people do to our movement.
So wait a minute.
reverse racism.
Reverse racism.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's what was being claimed.
Yeah. I will say though, I do agree with what you're saying. My biggest thing in that conversation was, if you are championing anti-body shaming, you don't want people to be body shamed, then you should not then go do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if, for instance, like if I'm championing anti-racism and I say racism is wrong, but then I am racist myself.
Well, that's
And then-
that's what I mean as far as participating
Yeah,
in
because then-
perpetuating the narrative. That's how I felt about like the whole light skin, dark skin thing. I'm like, we
Yes.
need to stop. We need to stop this in our community. So for me personally, I'm not going to partake in these light skin, dark skin jokes and
Right.
all of that. Oh,
Right,
light skin
right.
niggas be like and all that. I don't partake in that majority of the time. Like, am I getting on everybody like, don't share this? I'm not preaching to everybody, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna keep on. Like, I know this needs to stop in the community, and I talk about it, and I can't sit up here and then turn around and be sharing
Exactly.
shit that's gonna keep perpetuating the same
Exactly.
thing.
And that's
So,
your personal conviction. I think it's a
Exactly.
personal conviction. And
and
that's
that's
to
why I
me,
don't put it on nobody else.
don't be a hypocrite by saying don't do this, but then you're doing it. Like, don't say don't shame women. And like, I've seen multiple of them women in there saying like, when pictures, and we stop using Lizzo, because Lizzo's not the only person that is. I mean, I know she's probably the face of it for our generation, but there's other women like
Tess Holiday.
and it's usually plus size women, but like we also need to, maybe it's a different term, and I just don't want to be disrespectful to the movement. But what's the what's the young lady? It's Benzino's daughter.
Ray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where when she was posting how pic and she was super skinny and people were
Yep.
like, "Why are you so skinny? You
Yep.
look like a toothpick." Blah 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 blah. It's like, but then y'all the same ones to talk about body
Yep.
positivity. You it needs to it. I
hate
don't care what the
that.
term is. If it's not specifically that term, then I get it. But don't. It's the premise of it. If you say it's wrong to make fun of one person's body and to do that to one person and you call it bullying, then you can't do it to somebody else that's on the other side of the spectrum. So I think that's where men were having some of the issues, but men also have to realize that it doesn't work both ways for them too.
But people look at it like there's a privilege to what you have. So there is a privilege to being skinny. I get that, but it's still wrong. And that's what
Correct.
There is privilege to being a man, but it's still wrong. Like it's like, you know, dark-skinned women getting teased because they're dark. But then on the other spectrum, people find it okay to tell somebody that they pale or that they too white or whatever and make those type of comments.
Right.
Is there a privilege to being lighter skinned? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's still rude.
It's still wrong.
It's still wrong and it's still rude.
It's the same premise. Yeah, just because somebody may have a privilege with whatever they have doesn't
still
mean that
rude.
it's right
That
for
it makes
you
it
to still
okay.
point. Yeah, exactly.
And the whole like, oh, you need to eat a sandwich. You would not go up to somebody and tell them they need to stop eating.
Correct.
So why would you tell somebody, oh, you need to eat? Why would you tell somebody that?
Yeah, we people gotta pick a side.
No,
People gotta pick a side. But you know what? I don't know that conversation. So we're all agreeing that it is wrong for what a lot of I'll say women, the internet was doing.
It was the women.
Well, but it was men too.
Well,
But
it was men that were chiming in and laughing.
Yes.
And sharing what the women were saying and laughing too. So
it is wrong because we are agreeing that it is, maybe it's not body, because again, I know there's specific terms for specific groups. It's a form of body shaming.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do we care on who it is? Because obviously Nelly was degrading women, told Madonna to cover up. Obviously the whole tip drill thing was a very big controversy because the credit card swipe and all that other stuff. Does that change any of the dynamic, or is it wrong across the board?
For me, it's wrong across the board. But
Okay.
at the end of the day, I get where people were not having much empathy for him.
Yeah.
Of what was happening.
Because a lot of people were saying you get what you give.
Yeah.
And treat
So I
others
get
how
that.
you want to be treated.
So
I'm a big believer on that.
so for you, does that change it?
No, I don't like to talk about, even if you're not the cutest, that's none of my business. Like I don't care to share that.
Right.
But y'all laughed when y'all saw it, no? Oh, Fizz, you did. Lenley, no.
I was like, I mean, it was the memes. Come on now, Black Twitter is.
The
I think that's what was more
That
funny.
was funny.
It was the
Yeah,
reactions.
cheated.
Yeah.
It was a reaction.
You know the internet gonna do its thing.
yeah.
That's why we call it the internet wins again, and it won.
Again.
It won again. Like,
But I didn't join in and let me put my
but I
foot in
definitely.
there
It wasn't
and-
until I saw
Yeah.
that post that I thought about it. Like, oh yeah, that is,
They
that
still
does
gonna
fall-
get girls. They still gonna get money.
Yeah.
They're gonna be all right.
So what was your reaction to the women shutting it down, saying that it wasn't?
it just I get it from the technical standpoint or the beginning of the movement, like how the movement started. Yes, it does not. It's not.
Right.
But we're here, and it is.
Yeah.
Regardless, we feel like men should be included or not. It's the same premise.
Maybe let me be more specific. Do you feel that men are allowed to express themselves and be heard, or do you feel like when things like that pop up that we're shut down?
You guys shut down. You guys aren't taught to really express yourselves.
We're not.
I feel like. So.
And obviously Nelly couldn't speak for himself, but I think
Well, I mean, as far as the post that you're talking about, I feel like the men were shut down. But a lot of times the issue that comes in is when men get ready to express themselves. It's a lot of times, look at how you went about expressing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally used the opportunity you took the opportunity to shame Lizzo. Like it was very disingenuous. So it's hard to get behind somebody that is disingenuous in their delivery. Like you basically made a post saying it's okay to say Nelly has a small dick, but I can't say that Lizzo not wearing clothes is disgusting. That's not really, what kind of conversation are you really trying to start?
Like, it don't got nothing to do with Lizzo.
Nothing.
Right.
And I think that's the part that's kind of like I said, it was frustrating because it's like, I get what y'all saying, but I know that y'all don't really care about this.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just using this as an opportunity to downplay what is being built in the body positivity community.
Got it.
It's, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
It's not genuine.
I think that the conversation is multi-layered because even within the body positivity movement, there's hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're saying is totally right.
That's because the movement was stolen. It's basically, like I said, it's the All Lives Matter version of fat acceptance movement, which was started by Black women. So body positivity came, I believe, later. I want to say it was somebody that struggled with anorexia. That
for the body positivity.
Yeah, for the body positivity. That's where it kind of like spawned off to include everybody because, you know, all lives matter, not just the fat ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the All Lives Matter version of the fat acceptance movement.
Yeah.
So it's just really a lot of, like you said, hypocrisy in it because a lot of people have now started saying that they're body positive because that's the buzzword right now.
Right.
But what they really are fat acceptant. And so you find people that are a part of the fat acceptance movement calling it body positivity. It's like, no, because if you're only body positive when it comes to larger bodies, then that means that's not what body positivity is.
I got you. And obviously we can't speak because we should have somebody as a representative that maybe knows a little bit more about the movements and the terminology and all that but stuff. But just on the surface of it, for most general people, again, if you're doing it for one group but not doing it for the other, then it seems like it's not fair. Because
you'll see people, and I've posted about it, where people will be, you know, Lizzo will post and she'll have something, you know, revealing, and everybody's like, yes, I'm here for it and all of that. And then in the same breath, turn around and say, I'm so tired of Meg Thee Stallion. Does she ever wear clothes and all of this? I'm like, what happened to the energy? Are we body positive? Are we hyping, you know, freedom and all of that, or are we not?
And that's what and that's why I keep bringing up that pendulum example. We always want to swing, like it swings way right, then it swings way left. Like at first it was only skinny people that were deemed as attractive. Okay, cool. But now that we're trying to make it fair, so then we swing all the way to the right, which is good. We're seeing plus size models. We're seeing like Nike's using all kind of different body shapes and things like that. And that's good. But then you have some people that take it to the extreme where it's, like you said, post a Lizzo and say, oh girl, you're doing your thing, but then criticize like a Meg Thee Stallion or like a Cardi B. And it's like, but now you wanted equality, but you're either far right or you're far left. And it needs to be somewhere in the middle where you're just not doing it at all.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you subscribe to, then don't do it to nobody. But it seems like it always got to be one or the other. Like I got to be in one group or the other group, or and like to the point where you even see like white women posting Black Lives Matter in their profiles because like you always want to be included. And it's like you can post that. Do you mean it, or is that just the buzzword of the day? Is body positivity just the buzzword of the day? Is fat acceptance just the buzzword of the day? It's like, do you really mean it, or you just don't want to look like you're not?
Or do you even know what it is before you claiming it?
Because people will put that, and I'm like, well, do you know, like
hype piece. They just go with the hype.
Go with the hype. Want to be included. They want to be popular. They don't want to look like they're an outcast or not. Bandwagoning. There you go. So
bandwagon.
Okay. Well, hopefully, for the rest of the month of February, we don't see any more things that nobody unsolicited pictures. This is Black History Month, and
man, history that's being made.
It's not the history one.
Oh man,
sweep this one on the rug.
Nah, man, we still got what's today, the 12th?
But we got a long way to go.
We still got 18 more, 19 more days. You were supposed to do something today, huh?
No, we have 2 weeks. It's a short month.
It's a short month, yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah, because you know how they do.
They
Black
give us
people.
the shortest.
Man, like how you gonna do us like that?
Exactly. Go and get the shortest month.
It's cool. It's Black History
Black
every day.
History every day. Please, yes. Yeah. And I'm taking off Juneteenth this year too.
Yeah. Well, ain't it a holiday now?
Yep.
Your employer has to designate it as a day.
I work for the city. They ain't give it to us.
I'm taking a day off. I already told my
I'm
boss.
taking
I will
it.
not be. Well, I'm off.
Taking a day off. Yeah. So all right, man. So this was a good episode. Hopefully y'all having better sex after y'all listening to this.
Do your research, ask them questions, and figure out what she wants.
And have better communication.
And also what he wants.
Yes.
Yes. We want to thank everybody for listening. Please comment, subscribe, like, all that good jazz. Help out the algorithm. We talk about the algorithm all the time. And we want to just give a shout out to Raja. I know he's not here. Shout out to Young Nate on the boards. Shout out to everybody that's just been supporting us. We really appreciate it. It's 2022. We want to give a big shout out to Sac Connect that had the Wellness of Melanin.
I'm sad I wanted to go, but I was like, damn,
I forgot that we had to record. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to donate money.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't able to go today. But we want to thank everybody. Oh, and then on the 20th, there is an event. It's a Black Men in Solidarity event walk that I think is at the Capitol, and we'll post it. I will be there. So if you want to say what's up to me, talk to me. I'll be there because I will be standing with my brothers in solidarity. So we love y'all. Peace and stay safe and stay healthy.
Much love.
We out.
Peace out.
Bye.
Let's go. You just let. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.